Also, I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. Listen, people, marijuana is legal in California. There's no reason you have to leave your house, your apartment, anything to get it, okay? Go to speedweed.com. They will deliver it to you. They get everything from pet CBD to vape pens to oils to roll-on CBD oil to everything. You name it, they have it. Mention Roasted, you get $10 off. Orders $100 or more, and the guy Gino is a great guy, so check him out. Go to speedweed.com. Follow them at Speedweed. Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. We got a great show today. We got CB Gold back in the house.
I'm here, folks. What's going on?
He's alive. We also have my life mentor, a Marine, my fellow wrestling coach, now a pro fighter, amateur fighter, who wants to make his first. You have a first pro fight.
Debut, yeah.
Pro debut. My man Tyler Smith. Do you have?
We don't have it yet. We're trying to get on a card for like October 20th. Probably I think it's a CXF. Maybe.
Nice. And you're a brown belt, but you never wrestled in high school or college, and
Nope.
you have good striking, right? Good striking or great striking? Decent.
I felt bad watching the heavy bag the other day that he was hitting on Instagram.
Yeah.
I look good on a bag, so we'll see if it translates.
Nice. All right, good. But your first fight went terrible. You lost in 8 seconds. Second fight, 6 seconds. Lost decision. So guys, listen, step up and fight this guy. Okay, you might win.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Let's
that
go.
so
Make it happen.
I'm just trying to get you a fight. All right. It's just so funny. Like it's hard for some guys like because they're like, oh, he's a 3-time All-American, and people are like, fuck that. I'm not fighting that guy. I'm doing good. Vinc Pichel is coming in soon. We have a great show. We got Sodiq Yusuff, who just made his debut on The Contender last week. Had a war, as well as my man Eryk Anders, your boy. He's going to be calling in. We got a great show. I just got back from the Montreal Comedy Festival. I was a nervous wreck when I was there because I was there and it was my wife's due date, which was last Saturday, which was the night of my show, and she's like, go, I'm, feeling okay. And, I was like, okay, I'm going to hop on a flight back if something happens. So I'm checking my phone the entire time. Like any text from her, I'm like, please don't be my water broke. Anything. I don't care if it's like I cheated or I grew a penis, anything but like my water broke, I'll be happy. So I got a legitimate text saying, hey, we need to buy a new washing machine. Is it cool if I put it on your credit card? I'm like, go ahead, no problem. Like anything but the water break.
Continue my set.
Yes, anything. So I get there, and the first night I was there, it was cool. I saw people I haven't seen in years. Nick Swartzen, who actually told me a really funny story about how he was at a bar one day at like noon by himself drinking, and some guy comes in and he's like, Nick Swartzen, you're good for nothing, just going off on him. Like you're lazy, you're this, you're that. Do you do anything athletic? And Nick actually happens to be a really good basketball player. So he's like, I'll play you right now, one-on-one. And so him and like the whole bar goes to the court like 2 blocks away. And this guy was like his athletic, gym guy, like CrossFit nerd, whatever. And Nick just started draining threes and just destroyed the guy. A half-drunk Nick Swartzen, or maybe even a full drunk, because he was telling me that story, which is kind of funny. And then I ran into Little Rel. I don't know if you know Little Rel. He has his own TV show right now. He was on
the Bruce Willis roast the other night.
Bruce Willis roast. He was like,
he was one of only 2 funny or 3 funny people on the whole roast.
There were a couple of them. I thought Ed Norton was really good. I thought the girl was good. Nikki Glaser was good.
Dom Herrera was hilarious.
I didn't see Dom. Dom, yeah. So I see Little Rel. I always see at the Dime Bar. I do the Dime. That's like his spot, but he never goes up. And I'm always like, I even told him, like, dude, I don't know if I'm insulting you by asking you want to go on, or if I'm insulting you by not asking if you want to go on. But he's like, no, I just like, because he watches the whole show. It's not like he was like his spot,
that's cool.
And then he just stays. He's like, man, I'm just watching you guys going. You guys are crazy, man. And we're talking and we're having a good time. And he goes, hey, man, I have a gala, which is like all the big names have galas in Montreal, whether it's Russell Peters or Little Rel, or I think Amy Schumer had a gala, or Joe Coy had a gala, or this one. So he's like, Howie Mandel. He goes, hey, you want to be on my gala tomorrow night? I'm like, sure. So he was hooking me up. So that was awesome. And then I also ran into Virgil, the WWE guy.
I saw that, and that's pretty fucking cool.
He was Virgil was the $1 Million Man's bodyguard in the WWE, and he was walking around Montreal, and I was like, Virgil, like, can I get a picture? And he was super nice, and everyone was making fun of him on my Instagram. So did he charge you or this or that? I guess he's having a rough.
He's done signings where he's supposed to get paid, and there's been pictures posted where nobody's gone up to him.
Yeah, I know, and people are always posting that, but I'm like, that's just mean. Like, people are like, oh, he like goes to signings where he's not invited, and he kind of sets up camp in front of, and I'm like, so what? So the guy's having a tough time in his life, so we're gonna ridicule him.
We're gonna shit on him.
Yeah, like awesome. That. Like that's the time to shit on someone when they're obviously going through it. He was super nice to me, and I think he was actually a real wrestler in real life, did wrestling like in college. Yeah. I think he was like an All-American or something. So I saw him.
He's fucking jacked. So he's still jacked.
He's still jacked. He really is. I mean, he's still walking with a limp. You could tell that wrestling's taking its toll on him. And then I ran into Fortune Femster, who she's a big comedian, huge lesbian in the gay community, but she's a big act. She's big on Chelsea lately, and I remember doing a show in Minnesota, and I replaced her last minute. So the crowd was like half gay. They didn't tell everyone there. 'Cause I remember being on stage, and the opening act was a gay guy, and the middle act was like a lesbian. Then I go on, and the look of people's faces of like confusion, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" And they're like, "Where's Fortune?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, "They booked me here." She's not. They didn't tell. They're like, we want Fortune." I'm like, "Well, she's not coming. It's not a fucking practical joke on you." And then. So then these like high school kids were there, and to this day on my Instagram they still write "Where's Fortune" every time I fucking post something. These fucking high school kids.
That's hilarious. The internet.
So and I told Fortune about that, and then I was there. I was on the same flight with Joe Coy and a bunch of comedians, and it was weird though because we got on the plane and Joe Coy's in first class, and the rest of us are in the back. So I'm like, Joe, I'm gonna go back there in my seat, and that was cool. And then so I did the day of my shows. At first, I did the Little Rel Gala and fucking murdered it. I had so much fun. Nice. And then I did the Kevin Hart LOL showcase, and I was on 10th out of 11. Show started at 10 o'clock, and I was like in my head a little bit like, oh, fuck, like everyone's going to be tired because there was another comic saying he was on. Then I was like, fuck this. Like, I got a daughter. Yeah. I got to kill. And I treat it, I'm like, I go on the dime last every week, and I just fucking annihilated. Got a standing ovation.
Awesome.
By one person, but it was still that one person stood up. But I had so much fun, and I was
annoying when one person stands up and the rest of them are just like, do we have to?
I love it. I think it's even funnier. It's like I'm like a sniper standing ovation. But it was good. I actually got I got some cool meetings out of it with like some big agencies, and like I have an agency, but some other things, and like the word got back to the Kevin Hart's people because that's who I'm selling a show to, and they bought a show off me, and we're
awesome. So
it's all good. So it was a
successful trip.
Yeah, it came back. The wife is still pregnant, and now it's kind of nervous because I guess we I guess if the baby's not here by a week from now, they're gonna do a C-section to get her out.
Well, my birthday's on Monday, so I'm hoping that your daughter doesn't share the same birthday with me.
Why?
For her sake.
Oh, God.
You don't need that.
It was a bad day if I was born on that day.
It's so weird having sex with my wife, though, because I feel like I'm like close to the baby. Like I don't want her first words being "me too." Yeah. I do get, and then like as a comic, sometimes it's hard to like my wife's like, hey, you want to go take a bath? I'm like, I don't think we'll fit. I'm like, we can go in the pool. And
have you avoided buffets?
Yes. Why? For her?
Because like when my sister was pregnant, she was pregnant with twins, and like if she turned around at a buffet, you could say goodbye to all the food.
Oh no, my wife's. I mean, she's. No, it's all good. But
is she craving anything weird?
My dick. No, she's not. She's been good, and then I did the dime last night. Of course, I'm back to reality in front of like 6 people, if that. I was having fun though. Fun. But you go from like the gala, 1,000 people. I feel like a rock star, back to like 6 people, and then my buddy Jonesy almost got into a fight with this drunk kid. Jonesy's like the most peaceful guy ever. But some guy was heckling him, and he goes, "I'm gonna kick you in the fucking head," and then. But I stopped doing jiu-jitsu for a little bit because I was worried about my knee because I got caught in an electric chair again, and that's what I tore my ACL with. And I was like, for a week, I was like, just hoping I wouldn't take a penetration step and it would crumble.
Jiggly.
So I've started doing Muay Thai, which I love.
Nice.
I've been doing that like at least 3 days a week. I got a little nervous yesterday because I went with this Russian guy who he was, just going 1,000%. Going every time he would
As
hit
they
me,
do.
and then
Courtney Casey?
and then he gave me one of those things where then they put like those like body pads on. You know how like you wear those body.
The weight vests?
It looks like a weight vest,
Like the chunky.
like the chunky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Taekwondo protector.
Yeah, and when we're doing the mitts where I'm like doing 1, 2, 3, and then he's going body, but he's hitting me as hard as he fucking can in the body, and it doesn't hurt. But if he misses, I'm gonna crack a fucking rib.
Yeah.
So I go up to the teacher and I'm like, "Hey man, could you just keep an eye on this guy? Like, the last thing I need right now is like cracked a rib."
The only hospital we're trying to go to is for my daughter, not for me.
And then my teacher goes, "It's cool. He's just Russian." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, in that case."
Okay. Don't worry about it.
But I mean, I like it. I was just nervous for a second, but I've been doing good. So, CB, what's new in your life?
Not a whole lot, man. I went to LFA 2 weeks ago at Morongo. Got cage side tickets from a friend, and that event was absolutely awesome. Eryk Silva, who you guys remember from the UFC, made his first fight appearance since the UFC. Ended up winning by first round armbar after getting rocked hard. Just been hanging out, running the shop, and
yeah, I think as long as USADA's not involved, Eryk Silva's going to have a great career.
I think
what does
so.
body look like?
He looked good. He looked pretty ripped. He definitely looked in better shape than the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're driving out to Palm Springs to go test these guys.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not a whole lot. Was graphing today at the hotel, hanging out, and just glad to be back.
Nice. Now, and then what's going on with you?
Crazy story. So I'm actually going to on a last minute trip to Italy for a wedding. Yeah.
All right.
With my ex-girlfriend.
Whoa.
And her parents are paying for it.
Why?
They must really like you.
No. So she got a concussion a couple weeks ago, and so she's been a little woozy and out of it.
Does she know she's your ex?
Yeah, she knows she's my ex. So. But she was going to this wedding, and her mom didn't feel comfortable having her travel alone right now. So I'm gonna go with her. So they offered to pay for me to go.
Are you excited? Now, how long?
I've never been to Italy. Last time I was in Europe was in high school, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And how long were you guys together for?
Almost a year.
So I mean,
Almost a year,
and who broke up with who?
We broke up with each other.
That is such bullshit.
She broke up with me.
Okay, fine. Yes.
I tend to kind of decide what I want to do without asking anybody else.
What did you do?
Just
Sounds like rape.
leave to Texas for 3 months at a time.
Oh, really?
Stuff. Yeah.
Without telling your girlfriend?
No, I told her, but it wasn't a conversation that we had.
Well, why did you leave? Why did you go to Texas for 3 months?
I went to help hurricane victims after Katrina.
Oh, that was so nice of you.
Yeah, but
so she broke up with you because of that?
Not because of that, but that was, I think, the icing on the cake.
Oh my god! Wow.
It caused a lot of strife, but
fuck.
We're good. We're on good terms. I mean, we still talk every day almost. And, like,
you're such a nice guy, man. I tell people, I'm like, you're a Marine, you fight, you're good with kids, you help hurricane victims. How many bodies are buried in your backyard? Like,
they're not in the backyard.
Oh, nice, nice.
Not in my backyard.
He was a Marine. They're in different counties.
Oh, good. Right. It's a good point.
He hit me up for tips.
You know all that space in between LA and Vegas? It's the perfect spot.
That's the place to do it, right?
I mean, if you're gonna do it, there's nothing there.
Yeah, I have friends that I keep around. There's certain friends that I have. Aldo's a guy that I like. I love Aldo, but he's like my guy that if I had to bury a body, he'd be the first person I call.
Yeah,
you know, like there are certain friends that I have some really good friends that if I'm like, hey man, I'm in a pickle. I just murdered somebody. I got to get rid of the body. Most people, a lot of them will be like, call the cops. Sorry, don't call me with this bullshit.
There's a handful.
But there's a couple people that are like, all right, man.
All right, dude, we got this.
We got this. We got this. Yeah.
You have to have a perpetual alibi.
Yeah.
like somebody that will vouch for you at all times.
I mean,
no matter what.
Yeah,
You thought about this?
It has to be already
I
established.
have one.
You have an alibi?
I have a.
Your dog doesn't count.
No, my dog is not my alibi.
Oh.
Trust me. No, it's my best friend, my big brother. Like,
Yeah.
he said, any shit you get into, you were with me the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my dog bit the mailman today. I went outside to dump out the cat litter, and right when the mailman came, and he runs out, and I was like, Miles, get in here. And he sees the mail guy on the sidewalk and runs up to him to nip at his ankles. The guy hits him with a newspaper, just like swiped him away. And I picked him up, and I was like, no, yelling at him. I brought him back in, and he's like, I yelled at him some more.
I think he knows you're talking about.
Yeah, and then he puts his head down
He's
and
like
walks
walking
away.
around all sad right now.
And then my other cat, Frankie, for some reason at 5 a.m, keeps wanting to groom me and like licking my scalp, like cleaning my head. And sometimes,
you're asleep?
sometimes it means like he's hungry or out of food or there's water. That's the way of waking me up.
Right.
But I look over and there's totally food and water. He just wants to be a dick. So now I have to sleep I have a water gun next to my bed. I'm not even kidding. I have a water gun, and I'm like, all right, fucker, like, you try to do this, you're getting sprayed, so.
So you sleep with a water gun next to your bed.
I swear.
In case your cat comes in.
I swear, this is what I'm doing. This is my life.
You don't
Good
sleep-
plan. Good plan for intruders.
You don't sleep much as is, from what I remember.
No,
So like,
and now I got the cat waking me up, so I'm like, all right, fucker, you getting squirted.
like an hour and a half in, you're like, come on.
And now you
Really?
got a baby on the way too. So
yeah.
say goodbye.
So let's talk about some of the fights over the weekend. Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier. A couple thoughts about this one. It was great while it lasted. I thought that, Mark Henry said it was his fault. He takes 100% of the blame. He goes 1 to 10. It was 100% my fault for not only telling him to elbow him, but instructing them exactly
Well, you
how.
can see it. If you watched, I watched the fight again last night, and you can see him, Marcus Almeida, and another coach all at the same time going, elbow, like showing him exactly what to do. So it's like, what the hell, man?
And the problem isn't necessarily Mark Henry. Well, it is, but the real problem is that fucking rule. Because you could do all these other things to somebody
shit rule.
that are 10 times worse.
Who was the ref?
It was Mark Goddard, but I don't blame Mark
And
Goddard.
he even said, he goes, hey, it's not my rule, but I have to enforce it. Like, everybody knows.
And they said he was holding on to the cage. Was he doing that?
He did hold the cage when he got stuck in the guillotine. The first guillotine attempt, when Poirier was trying to drag him down to guard, he had his hand in the cage like this, holding it. I also heard at one point that Eddie pulled Dustin's ear when he had the mount.
That's what he was saying. That he was like giving him like a wet willy
Yeah,
or something,
Dustin said
or
he
like
gave him a wet willy.
Is that illegal?
And then
non-playground rules,
And then
but
I had somebody on Twitter tweet me that before the elbow, Eddie looked for the ref. I don't know. I haven't watched it again, but it said he turned around
I put it on the ground.
and
Put it on the ground so he could jump on it. Go on.
that he looked around for the ref and then threw the elbow.
I mean, look, the ref's obviously going to see it, but it's not the WWE where you're like, look the other way, and then.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that rule sucks. That's the problem. However, once they got on the feet and Dustin lit him up, then Eddie was like, yeah, but they stood me up. Yeah, at the same time, you still could have beaten. You lost on the feet again.
Sure, but it also, I mean, that position they were in, and, not to say that they would have stayed that way, but it wasn't like he was just mounted him and fucking him up when they were on the ground.
Right.
He pushed against the cage and he was sitting on him.
Right.
Trying to find an angle to strike. So, it
Yeah.
wasn't like he was ground and pound the shit out of them and then they got stood up.
100%.
It wasn't
So
like a John Jones, Matt Hamill situation.
Yeah. Right. Hats off to Poirier.
Great fight.
I do. Look, Eddie Alvarez can fight 100 times. I will watch every single one of his fights. The guy.
He's now a free agent. Do you think the UFC re-signs him, or
I don't think for as much money as they originally signed him. They gave him a huge contract coming from Bellator, and I think that I don't know. I mean, what is he going to do? I don't think he has anything else to prove. That's the problem.
There's
It's
nothing
like,
left to prove.
I mean,
You've
Now
been a UFC
it's just
champion.
make
You've
money
reached the
if-
and
pinnacle.
and save your brain cells, man. That guy's taking so many punches to the face. What does he have to? It's not a guy like Ben Askren who was literally taking no damage in 17 fights, except for that one fight with the guy with the eye poke, whatever that. But this is a guy who's been in war after war after war. So what do you have to prove, Eddie Alvarez? Thank you for all the memories, and do something else. Who wouldn't hire Eddie Alvarez to put their name on their gym? Eddie Alvarez's gym in Philly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to that?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Hopefully he made a lot of money and saved it.
He's well spoken. He could be a commentator.
And he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to spend money on bullshit,
No.
And getting cars and
But if
side
he wants
chicks.
to fight, if he wants to keep fighting, keep fighting and make money. Go where they're gonna pay you, and make your money.
The problem is going off on a loss. That's, I think, the biggest issue is that, these guys in their heads for some reason are only as good as their last fight. And that's what kills these people. That's what BJ Penn keeps
But
fighting.
I don't know if Bellator feels that way.
No, I'm talking about Eddie Alvarez thinks that.
But I'm saying, in terms of money, they're still gonna offer him money. He'll get
Yeah, but he left Bellator for the UFC, and they might take that personally. But he left under the Bjorn Rebney regime, right? I don't think he left under Coker.
It wasn't under Coker.
And Coker was a Strikeforce guy. Eddie was, so they probably have a good relationship.
Coker seems to be a pretty smart guy.
So also, Alex Hernandez is a star. That kid took the Beneil Dariush fight on 2 days' notice and knocked him out cold. I was at that fight. Now he beat OAM, and OAM is a great fighter, and he made it look easy, actually.
And Hernandez is pissed about his performance.
Really?
He went on there, and first off, he said OAM, the hype train behind him was bullshit. The kid's not even that good. I should have done way better. I shouldn't have gone to the judges. All this stuff. And, they were like, Alex Hernandez with a win, but he ain't happy, and there's still beef after the fight. And I read the whole thing. I'm like, you look like you fought a guy that's very versatile.
What is he? He's a young Mexican kid from Texas, right? Is that what it is?
He's like a young professional. He's got his degree and then started fighting.
But he still has that Mexican fighter mentality, though.
I don't know, man. I think he seemed like he was more preppy side.
Oh, really?
I got something to prove.
Oh, good for him, man. Well, good for him, because I was shocked. I took Dariush in that fight. I bet on him. I was like, dude, Dariush, are you kidding me? And then that was crazy.
I had OAM in this fight.
Yeah, so Hernandez.
Everybody had OAM in this fight, and I don't know what happened. It looked like he just got tired after the first round. It looked like he might have gassed himself.
OAM or Hernandez?
OAM in the grappling exchanges, because that second round came and he just looked beat. You could see on his face that he looked exhausted. So maybe he's cutting a lot of weight or something.
I was going to say, he's a really big 155er.
Yeah, he's
really
giant.
big 155er.
And then Aldo Stevens. That fight, look, Aldo looked amazing, but that fight could have went Stevens' way, too. I mean, that was a coin flip.
I picked Jeremy
Jeremy,
into it.
I thought was almost going to have him out. Aldo looked like he was hurt. But, man, that body shot, wow.
It was a double. It was like a right hook, left hook to the body, hit at both sweet spots. I don't think I've seen Jeremy Stevens hurt, not hurt like that, but wincing like that. Oh, shit.
But he was still pissed they stopped it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
he was
another
on
ref
that.
might have let that go longer.
I think it was a good stoppage. He stopped it right on the first real clean headshot, and he kind of bounced his head off the canvas. So I can see where the rest.
It sucks for Stevens because he's getting so close.
Yeah.
He just keeps getting so fucking close. And it's funny also, I was talking to him, I was trying to get him to do one of the MMA awards. I was trying to get him to do something, and I wanted him to do that, who the fuck is that guy? And then something, and then a parody on that. And he was still angry about that. So I was like, I couldn't get him to do it. And his manager was saying that he basically got set up. I think it was one of those things where they were there, and the people behind them were telling the other fighters, hey, say something or speak up.
Yeah.
And then he does it, and then he just gets fucking murdered. Oh. So I think don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's what happened, but it felt like that's what happened. I felt bad for Tisha also, because she's also right there. But Joanna's another beast. If Tisha had more power, Rose, I think, just has Joanna's number. And I don't know if Rose is going to beat that little bulldog what's that?
Jessica Andrade?
Yeah.
Well, she has to beat Kovalkiewicz first. That fight's coming soon, but I have to guess the winner of that fight gets Rose next.
Yeah.
And Rose is in L.A. She's cornering J.J. Aldrich this weekend. I saw her a little earlier. I don't understand why Joanna's she's making excuses. She doesn't want to fight me. She's not the real champ.
You were 0-2 against her.
There should be an interim title created if she's not going to defend. And I'm like, even if there's an interim title created, you're not exactly in the picture right now. Come with one win,
And it wasn't like she completely dominated Tisha. It was a pretty close fight.
I thought Tisha won the first round. I think I thought it was closer than a 30-27 across the board.
It was a very close. It was a very close 30-20. It was like every round. Like I was watching with the sound off at a restaurant, like in between shows. But it was clear that Joanna won the fight.
Yeah.
And it was clear that if Tisha had a little more power, she might have won the fight. If she was catching her, but just not hurting her.
She hurt her once. She hurt her once. It looked like, but she kept like, I don't know what that game plan was. She was just pushing her on the fence, and she wouldn't change.
I don't know where she thought she had the advantage.
Yeah. I mean, she was going for that takedown, but she wasn't switching it up at all. She wasn't changing levels. She was just pushing her up, and at one point, even Joanna's, reversed her, and she was winning that battle. So it's like,
yeah, it was a weird
you gotta come
fight.
up with something else when your go-to isn't working. Try something, especially in the third round when you know you're losing. Go.
But there's a video of Tisha twerking afterwards
at
a party, giving lap dances, and it was very hot. She's a hot chick.
She is a hot chick.
I remember when she was straight. I did. She used to bring her boyfriends to my shows, and then now she's obviously very happy, and she's obviously into Raquel, and
she's hot too.
Yeah, another very hot woman, but Tisha could get it. I mean, if I was single, but she definitely.
She wasn't a lesbian.
Yeah, dude. There's there's like a GIF or a GIF, whatever they call it, of her getting angry that they took her bed on The Ultimate Fighter, storming out of the room, and she looks so muscular and pissed, and like people were like, there was a thread on the underground about it, and people were like, yeah, I've had many girls leave the room that pissed after sex. It's just like, I actually told her about it. She was laughing. She's like, find that for me and send it to me.
I honestly expected more aggression from Joanna. I figured coming off of 2 losses, which this could be a definitive return. I expected more aggression, more firepower, like the old Jessica Penne fight.
Well, listen, my young grasshopper, I'll tell you something. When you lose 2 fights in a row, your confidence goes. Okay?
No, I know.
And a lot of times you just need that one win just to get on the winning streak. And I think that's what this was. And I know it from a lot of times. I know it from when I used to wrestle. I know it from talk to fighters. A lot of times you just got to get that win. And even as ugly as it is, just get the W and get back on the winning streak.
You don't want to risk the 0-3.
That, and there's all kinds of doubts going through your head, and you start questioning how good you really are. And the American top team, I mean, she was 0-2 with ATT, right? Yeah. Had she won before that with ATT?
I feel like she might have been there right before the Rose fight.
Maybe she won a fight before that, but you start questioning your coaches, and maybe I'm doing everything wrong, and yada, yada. So a lot of times you just need that one win. I'll tell you, Cajun Johnson, I don't really know Cajun Johnson. I think he badmouthed me on Twitter a couple times. I don't know. I've had no interaction with him other than my friend Aaron, who did a fake podcast pretending he was Ally Quinta and called into his podcast as Ally Quinta, and it did an interview for 30 minutes where he thought he was interviewing Al. But anyway, so which was pretty funny. But this dude, I don't understand him. Like, he weighs in, goes to shake Dana's hand, and then does the psych where, like when you're in 5th grade, you're like, hey, how's it going? They're like, gotcha.
And you brush your hair.
Like, hey, dude, remember that's your boss?
Yeah, that's the president of the fucking UFC.
Dana didn't even laugh. He was just like confused.
Yeah, like why would
Conor McGregor, bro? Like,
why would you do that?
Plus the fact that your boss is giving you a job when you're one of the biggest speakers for Project Spearhead, which goes against the UFC. So you'd want to keep him on your good side, especially, taking another loss.
And he's right. It's not like he's murdering people in the UFC, right? What's his record? He's what, 2-2 in the UFC or something, or?
No, he's actually 4-2.
Okay, so he's 4-2.
But then he also did get his jaw broken by Chad Laprise on The Ultimate Fighter years ago. He's been very
inactive,
spotty, and
I know
only one finish.
Yeah. So anyway, but why would you do that? I don't know what he was thinking, because it didn't really go that well. People were just like, even like the things on Twitter were like, people were like, I'm not even a Dana fan, but this is really dumb of this guy to do that. Yeah. And then
there's still some common sense left.
And then to get finished in one round, after that, it's like, ugh. I'm just saying, if he gets cut, it's that fake handshake. And also, if he gets cut, he may end up in the PFL or the Bellator, where he's fighting guys that are almost as good, if just as good, for less money, and it's
he's
now
not
what?
really attracting himself for a big paycheck, no matter where he goes.
Yeah. Caitlin Kukagin, who I like her a lot, against who'd she fight? She fought
Alexis Davis.
Alexis Davis. I like Kate. The grunting. You know,
it's Monica Seles and Steffi Graf all over again.
I mean, like, you don't. It's weird. Like sometimes I'll be like, and you have sex with a girl and you hear her going, and then you're like, did you orgasm? Like, no. You know, that's
what the fuck was all that build-up?
That's what I kind of feel like when I'm watching this. I'm like, like, what? But like, what? Tyler, you train like hard. What is that?
It's the ki. It's the ki. It's real. It's real. It's because it's forcing you. What it's doing is forcing you to exhale and like tighten everything up when you throw that strike. So you're not just like a loose stomach. Like if you get countered, it's everything's hey. You know.
I like it.
It's
I mean,
real.
look, I like Caitlin a lot. She's cool as shit.
You don't have to yell.
She's hot. I don't get it. And it's strange. But you know what? Every time you do it, the judges think you may have landed a punch.
Exactly.
I thought she beat Alexis Davis. I thought it was close, but I thought she won. Dustin Ortiz had that fucking sweet head kick. That was amazing.
That was not, to be honest, not expected.
Really?
Yeah, Matthews Nicolau, tough kid, Noble Unyao kid. But Dustin Ortiz lately has just been on a fucking tear.
Yeah.
Dude, I think he left Rufus Sport. I forgot what camp he joined up with. But since then, the kid has been a stud.
I think he's at CES. Isn't he out here?
He might
Or
be out
CSA
here.
or something, or C.
I mean, the kid's good. The one question I have with Caitlin and Dustin actually did it. There were a few fighters on the card, and I was wondering what you guys think about it. When you win and they're like, "Who do you want to fight next?" Well, I'll fight whoever the UFC gives.
It's so dumb.
Call somebody out,
Gotta
right?
call somebody out.
Yeah.
No matter who it is, even if you're number 35 in the world, I want a title shot.
I don't know why they do that.
Because more often than not, if you call somebody out, they try to make that fight happen.
But I don't know. Yeah, call out the person you want to fight.
And it doesn't have to pick a guy that's 10 spots ahead of you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, if you're not ranked, pick a guy that is ranked, between 15 and 30. Just
Right.
call somebody out.
I think there's a like. I think the problem is like there's a superstition of like people that called out fighters are like losing. Like
I wish we could get a stat. Like,
Yeah,
we could get the ratio of the two of like call out to next fight and see like did you win, did you not?
Right. I think that's one of the case. And also, yeah, it is weird.
Well, it also helps you craft your next opponent too. Like you can call somebody if you're a good wrestler, and you know somebody has boo-boo wrestling, like call them out.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm gonna pad my record. Like,
Did you say boo-boo?
Did
you say
boo-boo
boo-boo wrestling?
Yeah, dude. It's boo-boo. I know.
All
Shit
right.
wrestling. But like the UFC's not gonna do it for you. They're not gonna build your record for you. So if you want to play that game, do it.
And then McDessie versus Pearson. That was a fucking war.
Banger.
Another one. I mean, I think Pearson at this point should just do bare knuckle boxing because I think he'd be the champion. If that dude is a head.
24 or 25 fights in the UFC. I can't count 10 opponents off the top of my head that he's faced. Never an idea that he had 25 fucking UFC fights now.
Yeah. I think Vince just showed up. And then
Poirier, man.
Same
you don't think
thing.
about that. He has 20 wins in the UFC.
You look you try to think of his record, you're like, holy shit.
for some reason I remember the losses more than the wins. Though.
Yeah.
Like the Cub Swanson, right? And then a couple other of those fights.
I mean, that Korean Zombie fight that was up for, I think, Fight of the Year at one point.
And then Nina beat Randa. Randa looked great in the first, and then hit a wall somehow. But I like
I
Randa.
actually missed that one.
I'll tell you who I felt bad for was Nick Newell last week because he finally got a shot, and they put him up against a wrestler, a Team Alpha male, who was like, I think, an All-American, who's a better wrestler than Newell. And I kind of felt bad for the other guy because everyone in the world's rooting against him because Nick Newell has one arm. So all of a
if
sudden,
he beats him, then there's that no pun intended handicap of like, yeah, you beat him, but you beat a guy with one arm,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
or like, you know, I used to train jiu-jitsu with a guy who was missing half of one leg, and you're like, well, I'm not going to pass to that side because it seems cheap.
Right.
Like it's a cheap maneuver. So it's like it's tough to do.
He's probably pissed that you don't pass that side.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're like, well, if you're going to just keep going to the one side.
Hey, be nice.
Hey, dude, I thought we were friends, bro.
Be nice.
It's
Vince just walked in.
It's a rough situation to be in because you lose, you lost to the guy. You win, you fucking, it's like, oh, well, you beat a guy with one arm that hasn't fought in, 4 years or whatever it is. So
Yeah, I think so.
it's a tough situation for the guy that beat him.
No,
I don't remember. Did he get the contract? The guy that beat Nick Newell?
I don't think he did get the contract, but the thing is like also, yeah, it's hard when the guy's handicapped. But it reminds me of like when we used to wrestle. There was like a blind school where the kids were all blind, and the thing is like, well, it was hard to wrestle them because you had to touch them at all times. Like you couldn't just climb behind them and then just fucking tackle them, which I thought would have been kind of cool, like just to start like tackling blind kids.
Like, all right, ready, go, and you just jump behind them.
Yeah, like that wouldn't. I mean, that wouldn't have been cool, but it was like they had the advantage in some ways because you're not used to that kind of wrestling.
Yeah, they have that contact already.
Yeah, whereas
they do that in jiu-jitsu too. Like,
oh, really?
Jiu-jitsu tournaments. There's one guy I always see. I think he's a purple belt, but they just start him off in like the traditional judo grips, collar sleeve grip, and then go from there. And he always fucks people up, dude.
Yeah, because that's like his style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, remember that one guy that had no arms and no legs that fought? They did a documentary on him, and
The guy that did that little was it a karate or a taekwondo thing?
no, he did an actual fight, but like you weren't allowed to kick him. Because I guess they were afraid that you could like boot him into the crowd or something, and
Yeah,
but
2.5 feet tall.
yeah.
I forgot 60-yard field goal.
So Vince is here. Vince, we have to have an update on Jessie Jess. The last time you were here, you guys, there was a lot of sparks flying everywhere. She was into you. She was in love. You were in love. What happened?
We haven't hung out yet. We're still talking, though. We still text and talk here to there.
Still flirting?
Yeah. We might hang out soon. I'm not sure. We'll see how it works.
You got to give us an update because she seemed like she wanted the D.
Yeah, I heard you broke Joe's heart with that one.
I didn't even do anything yet.
Nice. And then I have you talked to Jessica I? You a big
No, man. I keep like responding to stuff on her story and like shooting little DMs here and there and like, hi, Jess.
Okay, so yes.
She hasn't said anything back. I'm like, what the hell, man?
Is she following you?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we got Vince here. So Vince, how's the training going?
Training's going pretty well. I actually just got back from Ohio. I was in Canton, Ohio.
Oh, how'd that go?
Pretty good. I was helping a friend train and get prepared for his first amateur MMA fight.
And
Very nice.
did he win?
He did win. He got a TKO in the third round.
Nice.
I Facebook lived it. I got yelled at by the referee because I went in the cage afterwards, all excited. It was like,
Now this was a fan of yours in the show,
I'm in the UFC,
and he invited you out to train him.
Yes.
And you were living in his basement, or where were you
He had
staying?
an extra bedroom in his house. You know what's funny is his name's Scott, Dylan Scott Bush. He's the only guy that I've ever allowed or accepted a Facebook friend request that I didn't actually know.
Okay.
He's the only person I've ever done that. Like,
And then-
everyone on my Facebook, I know personally.
Now, did he fly you out? He paid for everything?
Yes, he did. He flew me out there, let me stay in his house, got a whole room for me, and I basically just trained with him all week.
Were there any Ohio chicks that were like all over you, or
There's a couple cute chicks out there, but I didn't get none.
not? You saving it for smart, Jessie Jess. That's
Yeah,
that's some.
Oh yeah, I'm
That is
saving
some
up for that
A+ badge right there. So, all right, cool. So your boy now normally you don't coach though. Like, was it different coaching?
Normally I don't. You know what? Coaching is really hard for me because it's hard for me to. This is gonna sound real bad. It's hard for me to teach a retard to be normal. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's hard for me to teach people things because it's hard for me to explain. I guess maybe it's my fault. It's hard for me to explain things to certain people, and I have really thin patience.
Okay, right.
Are you more,
So I just
are you
don't
more
do
of like
it.
a natural, like you pick things up quickly?
Yes,
I'm
I'm a unconscious
so when people
competence.
don't, you're like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've showed it to you 10 times already.
Yeah, and I get mad if I show something, especially if it's multiple times and they still don't pick it up, and I'm just like, fuck, I walk away, I give up.
So this week, so I got a shout out on Looking for a Fight this week. I don't know if you watch it. So a couple weeks ago, Dana White calls me up and he's like, "Hey man, him and Matt Serra, we have this thing." It was right after the podcast. He's like, "I got this thing where I got to write a blues song." That we're in the South, and we got to write the blues song. I don't know how to write a blues song, but I had to look it up. I googled. He goes, "You could roast me." Sarah's like, "Roast me." Dean is like, "Roast me." So I stay up all night writing like 3 songs, and I write these long ass songs about Dana's wife or his like life
awesome,
and
man.
this and that
Songs
and
about Dana's wife.
everything. I just trash him. Fucking trash him, and I was calling Dean Thomas precious, and I was
Shit.
Matt. I was making fun of Matt Serra, saying he could fly in the overhead bin. I just had one, and it was these.
I don't think he'd fit.
So then I
Yeah,
get
not if they had a weight restriction on that fucking thing. Jesus.
So then I got a text back from like Dana. Go, we need to talk. Like
We need to
Are
talk.
you breaking up with me?
and I was like, at 7 a.m, I'm like, what happened? He's like, bro. These are hilarious, but I can't say this fucking shit. And like, he goes, are you crazy? He goes, Anderson Silva's boner? I forgot what I rhymed with Anderson Silva's boner, but he's like, I
It had to
can't
have
say.
been good. What do you rhyme with boner?
He was
Anderson
like, you
Silva's
could
boner.
say this. You're the comedian. Come on, man. Just all I need is like one verse. I wrote like a fucking like a 9 fucking
Yeah, you
page.
probably totally
like,
overdid it.
novel.
I
Way
can see
overdid
he's
it.
Overdoing it.
So then he hires 5 other guys because like real songwriters, but like Sarah and Dean killed theirs, and then Sarah gave me a shout out, which was nice.
Awesome.
So upcoming fights that are have been announced. We went over the fights. You watched the fights of the weekend, Alvarez and
I did actually.
what are your thoughts about Poirier, Alvarez,
I
all
knew
that?
Poirier was gonna finish Alvarez. I didn't know it was gonna be that quick. I thought Alvarez was gonna blow his wad a little sooner before Poirier got that finish.
What do you think of the stand up
Of what?
when they stood up Alvarez?
Oh,
I mean
the-
Poirier.
the
Yeah.
illegal elbow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Alvarez is a fucking idiot, dude. Why does he do that? Why does he do? He knows it's illegal, but you know
Coach
what?
just told him to.
Yeah, I saw that later too. I saw that later. I saw a video of the coach circling. He's like doing this. I'm like, no way. He fucking listened to his coach. His coach said that, and then he did it. Like that's
But
double
don't you
dumb
think
to
the
me.
problem should also be that elbow shouldn't be illegal?
Well, yeah, but it is.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's kind of a stupid elbow to be illegal.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, but now, do you think that made a huge difference in the fight? As far as like, you think Eddie got kind of screwed?
I think yes, because look at the position Eddie was in when he did it. He had him fully mounted up against the cage. Poirier was stuck just eating shots. He could not get out of there. He had his legs laced up. There's no way Poirier was going to get out of there anytime soon. He was going to eat a lot of shots. So when Alvarez threw that elbow, that was a get out jail free card for Poirier, man. He let him out.
No. I know afterwards Eddie was like, but that stand up though, like, I mean, but they just started from a neutral position. Do you think Eddie?
Okay, well, let's say he didn't stand him up. The other alternative is take a point. Would he rather have a point taken than have them stand it up and he gets the same position?
Right.
Probably.
I probably would have, honestly.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, now that I say it out loud and it makes sense in my fucking head,
Yeah, I'll take the point.
I'll take that point.
You got a 5-round fight. You got time to make it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fuck.
But, you know what I mean? It's Poirier. Like, still, that one, you don't want to lose that point either.
Now, do you think
honestly.
Eddie was grabbing the cage and giving him what willies, like they said?
Who said that? Is that what was said?
Yeah.
They said Dustin said he gave him a wet willy, and then somebody told me that Eddie pulled Dustin's ear at some point.
I'd probably see something like that happening because I remember watching in the fight, and then I think Poirier was talking shit to Alvarez. They were talking back and forth while they're in a kind of a weird position. I remember.
Have you ever given anybody a what willie in a fight or no?
No, and I
think
fucking
he's
hate
gonna
when people give me
try.
willies. When people give me willies, that shit makes me mad. I just instantly cock and throw a punch at them.
I'm looking
dude. Like,
at
it
your
makes me
ear
so
right
mad.
now. I don't think anybody could give you a wet willy.
Yeah, not on
Yeah.
this side.
Can't
They get jammed.
Dude, when I was in high school, my ear was worse than his. I had surgery in my ear after high school because back
To
then.
fix it?
Yeah,
Easy?
it was way worse than yours, and like my ear would turn
Do,
purple.
Like the drill, like the Dremel in there.
Yeah, they I had to wear like a cast
that what they
on my
do?
head for a fucking like. They had to recarve the whole ear. My ear was purple. The only chicks that were into it were like goth chicks. It was
Did you
terrible.
get
So,
that
really,
hot
so
top?
really albino gingers? With
Yeah.
like all black?
Yeah, they were like, cool ear, it's purple. I'm like, thanks. Like, it's like a fucking,
purple ear.
it's like a mood ring or something. Now,
for them.
this week, a lot of good. First of all, they're saying McGregor Khabib is almost ready. They're almost
October.
I keep seeing stuff about October.
October.
in Vegas.
Have they agreed on anything?
I hope so.
Come on,
October
give us your
6th or
information.
7th?
Let's hear it.
Connor was walking around New York City yesterday and today, and other than the chick who asked him for a dick pic that got thrown out of the area.
Was that you in a wig?
No.
Okay, go on.
He got her thrown out for asking for a dick pic?
A girl went up to him and was like, when can we get a dick pic? And security was like, get the fuck out of here. But a bunch of people asked him. He said it's very close. It's not official, but it's very close. I think that's what's going to
What did the girls look like who asked for a dick pic? Were they hot?
I didn't see the girl.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't. They didn't show
Hot
her.
chick.
Preacher.
Literally, the camera that was on Connor stayed on Connor the entire time, and you just hear the voices from behind the camera because you had a bunch of handlers and security that was like, get out of the way.
What the fuck you doing, lady? Get the
Okay,
fuck out of here.
so you think the fight's gonna be made or what?
I think it's gonna happen. Yeah.
Now, for some reason, I really think that Connor's a terrible matchup for Khabib. He stands straight up, his chin's in the air, and he walks forward.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I do know,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it will change his game to take Khabib on, but I do know that Connor has brought in Jordan Burroughs to teach him wrestling. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm not saying it's going to save him. I'm just saying that
Well, it's a different kind of wrestling, though.
He's
I mean,
had it
but
for a while.
it's a different kind of wrestling. I mean,
Yeah, but
that's
all he's worried about is the takedown at this point.
Yeah, but Jordan Burroughs can probably emulate any wrestler in the world, and he's that good.
should just bring him the
however,
bear. Yeah,
however,
he-
that Russian style wrestling is not the same as the American explosive.
He's not shooting, blast doubles
Khabib's
at
not-
him from
Khabib-
10 feet away.
Yeah,
Fucking bear hug, don't let go.
but if Jordan Burroughs watches Khabib's fight, he probably could emulate exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, I bet he could.
I liked what Khabib said about the bear. Somebody asked him about the bear. He goes, do you want to give the bear a rematch? He goes, if he makes weight, I'll give him a title shot.
No, he told me that. No, we on the podcast when he called in, we had.
Oh, that was where
that was us.
heard it?
I asked him who was better, Anthony Pettis or the Bear, and he said the Bear was better than Anthony Pettis. Now
That's kind of fucked up.
Now, okay, so, yeah. Now, who do you think wins this fight, Vince?
I don't know. I honestly kind of want McGregor to win, but I think Khabib's gonna beat him.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm usually against McGregor too because I just want to.
I have the exact opposite feeling, where I want Khabib to win, but I just feel like the way that he was fighting against Ala Quinta, he would have gotten knocked out by McGregor.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's the thing. It's like you can't.
But he
you
wasn't
can't
fighting
take
for
the two
Al.
punches.
He was fighting for.
He was planning for Tony, wasn't
Yeah.
he? And that,
Yeah.
got,
Same
changed
thing.
last minute.
Same thing. You can't He's walking in like BJ Penn on his comeback, standing straight up with his bouncing around on his toes.
But he's always been like that.
I know, but
Yeah.
he hasn't been getting hit by Conor McGregor left hands.
And
you know?
Khabib's
Yeah.
not playing touch butt in the park.
But they're gonna tell him. But they're gonna tell him that at AKA, right? I mean, they're gonna.
Of course. But whether he does it or not, that's he's been fighting one way for 20 years.
I would love for him to just maul McGregor. That would just be amazing if he just throws him around the octagon and
It
submits
would
him.
be something to see.
Well, Khabib
would
did
be.
say he doesn't want to finish him early. He wants to hurt him.
That's-
Khabib also says if they put him in a room together for a world tour, he's going to have a hard time not trying to attack him. Khabib seems really pissed off.
And what's scary is it's like
Yeah, I saw
Ireland
that.
versus Russia at that fight in Vegas. Oh my
It's
God!
gonna be
No
insane.
thanks.
Dagestan versus
No
Ireland.
thanks.
Insane.
I'm staying far
A lot
away.
of tracksuits.
DVDs.
Could you imagine that? I mean, wow. I mean, the Irish.
A lot of stripes in that crowd.
Because I've been to 3 McGregor fights, and the Irish fans. Look, I know they're fans of the podcast, sure, but they're the loudest, most obnoxious people.
They
They're like,
shut down the MGM.
they're like,
At the,
they're like
the Chad
Eagles.
Mendes fight.
They no, and even after that, either the Aldo or another one, they shut down the.
they're like
MGM.
Eagles fans times 10. It's unbelievable.
They weren't letting anybody in or out of the MGM because the Irish, and then that dumb dude jumped in the octagon in the lobby and climbed the lion, and then
yeah.
8 cops were trying to get him down.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's
I
just
remember
singing
that.
and waving the flag and shit. It's gonna be crazy.
The more you try to stop them, just the more aggressive they get. I feel like,
Yeah.
and their antics always up.
Yeah.
They're not used to our cops either.
Yeah.
They're used to European cops who are just like, oh, hey, sir, please.
Because it's
Yeah, yeah.
they like, don't have guns, right?
The drunker
Like,
they
fuck
get,
down,
the
dude.
stronger
Will you
they
please
get.
just stop?
Well, don't they not have guns in Europe?
No.
Yeah, so like their cops don't shoot.
Yeah, the cops have no authority in like Europe.
So Stylebender versus Derek Brunson, they're saying, is going to be booked for
Fuck, I love
MSG.
that fight.
Ooh, I'm excited for that one.
I've been
Brunson's
going back at it. On
Yeah.
Twitter. It's
I
been
love
very
style. I
entertaining.
love like the style vendor, his little shit talking. I love his antics, dude. The way he talks shit, it's so funny.
I don't know, man. Derek Brunson, I think, might win this fight.
I think it's a
Derek
major
Brunson's a
step
beast.
up.
He's got to be
for
smart. He can't
Adesanya.
do his old style of fighting.
Don't
of just,
do the Whitaker.
Yeah, just where he just runs like a Tasmanian devil and see who gets knocked out first. But if he's smart, like I know he can be, I think he beats Stylebender. You?
I think he could too, definitely, just like exactly like you said. But Stylebender's so crazy, and that dude's so elusive. Like, I think I'm just picking him apart from the outside, honestly.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think he
I
will.
don't think Brunson's striking can hang with.
Oh, no
just
way.
Technically, so he knows that.
But he hasn't fought a wrestler yet, Stylebender. He was a two-time All-American wrestler.
Takedown defense and jiu-jitsu off his back more than anything.
Brad
just in
Tavares
case.
is a good enough wrestler.
But
Like he's good enough at pushing you up against the cage and putting that pressure.
Yeah,
on,
but
taking you
Brunson was
down.
a two-time All-American, college All-American. Tavares never wrestled in high school.
True.
Yeah, and I feel like Tavares is kind
On the way
of
down?
yeah. And he's been super
be.
hit and missy and kind of like
Yeah.
just getting worse to me, honestly. As
So-
shitty as that sounds, because I really like him.
So PFL this week, actually, once again, nobody knows about it, but the card is amazing.
Card is amazing.
Jason High, who doesn't like me, but
He's a recent injury replacement too. He stepped in on short notice.
So
Why,
he's,
why doesn't he like you?
I have no idea. But he was like, anybody who retweets MMA Roasted, I'm going to unfollow. I'm like,
Really?
Yeah. He got
Out of nowhere?
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, man. Like, okay.
I'm gonna retweet all your stuff and tag you.
Retweet with comment.
So he's fighting this guy, Nathan Schultz, who I never heard of until he just destroyed Chris Wade, who's a good fighter. Chris Wade is a great fighter.
Chris Wade is a good fighter.
And this guy, Nathan Schultz, just beat him up bad.
The guy's name's Natan.
Yeah, I
Israeli
think
guy?
not Israeli. I think he's from another guy from Dagestan or one of those places.
I'm thinking of Natan Levy.
Yeah, I think Natan wins this fight against Jason High. But Jason High got fucked his last fight against what was it, Escudero, right? Or they called the fake tap. Who was it
I
up?
think it was Escudero.
Yeah.
And then he pushed the ref again,
The no tap.
but didn't push him that hard, so he didn't get any. Also, Vinny Magalesh taking on Brandon Housley.
That's a good fight.
Emily
I don't know who Ben
Whitemeyer's
Housley
best
is.
friend, right?
What was that?
Emily Whitemeyer's best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Whitmire?
Did you see the video of her at the gym last week?
Okay, we're gonna explain for Vince. So she trained at that gym, I guess, with Syndicate, Emily Whitmire, and Vinny was her coach.
No, Whitmire's Extreme
and
Couture.
then, or one of the coaches. Then he went and coached the girl Jamie Moyle, who was fighting her. And then after the fight, he said, "I'll never train again. I'll never coach against you." And he did, I guess.
Oh, yeah, and she
then
started talking shit
she
to him,
called
right?
him out. She's like,
like,
"Fuck
in the
you,
cage.
Vinny Magalesh."
Yeah, I remember that
called him
actually.
out, "You're a
I didn't know the
piece of shit."
backstory.
Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, I didn't know the backstory. I remember that though, but I know the backstory.
Yeah,
So he coached her opponent.
I guess.
But he
Yeah,
trained
he's one of her
Moyle from a
coaches.
white belt up. He was
Yeah.
with Moyle for years, and he trained her from a white belt. She asked, and he said, "Yes."
And Moyle is pretty cute. Like
I mean,
But I guess Emily asked if he was going to coach
And
her,
he said
and he
no.
said no, and then he showed up at the fight, like
Oh,
in her corner. Yeah.
She also did. You guys see what she did on Twitter or Instagram
Who?
last week? Vinny was training for this fight, and Whitmire's walking around the cage, and she's filming him. She goes, "I'm sending this to your opponent."
Oh, come on.
They tag him.
No, don't Ted. Just forget that guy.
Why?
I don't fuck that guy. That guy's. Whatever.
I wish I remembered his handle. What's his
All
name?
right, it's Vinny Magalesh. All right, so he's fighting Brandon Housley, who actually he was an All-American wrestler, great fighter.
Former Bellator middleweight champion.
Then he lost 3 in a row.
He also missed weight and lost his title because of it.
But he's got
He missed
great.
weight on a title fight.
He's got power.
It was his title.
Either he knocks out Vinny in the first round, or he gets submitted in the second
Well, the
or
other
third.
thing is he's going up 20 pounds because he fought in middleweight.
Who Housley is?
Yeah, he's going up to light
Imagine
heavyweight.
205.
Vinny's got to go for subs immediately. I think on the feet he can get rocked because Vinny's chin's not that great. And Halsey, like you said, is a stud wrestler.
But this is for $1 million. If I think it's a different Vinny, it's going to show up.
He's already the leading points person at light heavyweight.
Yeah, watch. It's a different Vinny. Motivated Vinny's a very dangerous guy.
Yeah.
Motivated Vinny is very dangerous. Vinny. He just beat Gordon Ryan in a grappling tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
always
so
super
he's
dangerous
still,
grappling.
I mean,
that dude.
he's a stud, man.
I love
He's a
Vinny.
stud.
I love Vinny.
Also, Will Brooks is taking on Robert Watley. Watley hasn't lost a fight in 3 years. Beat Thiago Tavares. Will Brooks is a guy that I thought was going to clean house in the UFC and just
Shit
mentally.
the bed.
Yeah, I
that
thought
was
he was
a-
going to
yeah.
do really well too. I was kind of
That was
a little
weird
That's a
watching him
disappointment.
get worked like that.
But I think Will should win this fight. Chris Wade's fighting again, and Efren Escudero is fighting this guy Islam something who's
Efren Escudero still
Islam Mamedov?
fighting?
yeah, he's on his card Thursday night on Facebook.
I
He's
wanted to fight him when I first got in the UFC.
really, yeah, I think you would have beaten him.
And I would
think
have
so,
smashed
too.
on him.
But this guy
That's why I
Islam,
wanted to fight him.
this
I
guy
wanted that easy
Islam,
payday.
this guy is fighting is 15-2, hasn't lost since 2009. Like these guys are overlooked. They're getting buried on the PFL. Anyway,
Well, and you
so-
also have Rashid Magomedov versus Luis Firmino, which is a really, really good fight. Rashid was in the UFC. He has a brother at heavyweight, Ruslan.
Oh.
They were in the UFC, and Luis Firmino was on Ultimate Fighter Black Zillions versus ATT.
But let's talk about the UFC. By the way, I got tickets this week. I'm going.
I'm going.
You going?
too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Russell Peters asked me to go. I'm like, sure. And to sit with him and Mike Tyson.
someone's got a date.
Tyson was at the
Mike
hotel.
Tyson too?
Yeah.
Tyson was at the hotel.
Hey,
and-
man,
Russell
sure you
Peters
take-
and Mike Tyson.
I really love how ever since the Rashad cast, you've just been posting so many pictures of black people.
That's not.
you
First of all,
post
it
a
was.
photo with Mike Tyson. When you're
First of all, it was way before that. You're just noticing that now, okay? You fucking race baiter, okay? That's not how it goes. By the way, this guy, after the last podcast he was on, the dog bites Greg Wilson. Miles bit Greg,
Look at-
right?
look how
and then
loving he
and then
looks
Greg
right
and
now.
then Greg's like and then he starts dying laughing. Goes, fuck! I wish I would have filmed it. Right? I never saw him laugh so hard in his life. Doesn't say, "Are you okay? Are you bleeding? How's your arm?"
I mean, it's
Just-
Greg.
Yeah, but he's just Then 3 days later, he texts me, "I'm still laughing, dude." About
The noise that came out of Greg, dude, in his fucking face. That shit will kill me forever.
I couldn't believe it.
That's
I
why
was like,
he's the Savage Patch Kid.
dude,
It's,
yeah.
you know, and it's only because I've felt that bite so many times, and it never broke skin. So I was like, he's all right.
yeah.
And then the dog, I love how the dog like just bit his ass and was like, "That's right, motherfucker."
Yeah, no, he looked at me like, "Sorry, Dad." I'm like, "Come on, man."
And as soon as I get was you like telling him no 100 times, and then getting up and like trying not to laugh because Greg was right there, but like laughing. Like,
Dude, you're evil,
pretty
bro.
good.
You're fucking evil, man. By the way, any word on a fight anytime soon?
no, I'm gonna shoot for later this year. I talked to Shelby when I was at the MMA Awards, which I can't find any kind of video, and I don't have cable. I didn't get to watch it, so I'm like trying to find that.
I'll find it for you.
I have it on I saved it on DVR, but it's only like an hour version, so it's probably just the highlights. But if there's a part where you're on it, I'll definitely.
Of you and Jesse flirting?
Yeah, I wanted to see
Probably
that
replay
part.
at some point.
That
I wanted
was
to see it.
very cute. So
That was
Cody
really fun.
Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw.
Oh,
I
shit.
don't know who to pick in this fight because that first fight could have went either way.
I'm going TJ.
Going TJ
No,
again?
Even though I want Cody to win because I'm kind of like, I don't want to say nothing, but I'm TJ's gonna win. I'm gonna say that. I'm
Really?
gonna keep my mouth shut.
Why do you think TJ's gonna win?
I think TJ has too many weapons. I think TJ has too many tools, too many weapons, and he's just too dynamic, man. Like
He got fucked up
Cody-
in that first round. He was almost stopped.
he did, but look how quickly he came back from it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was rocked, but it wasn't like a fight ending like rocking. You know what I mean? Like it was like that rocking where guys can usually take in those,
Yeah,
they'll get
like
their
he
wits
got
pretty
rocked
quick.
and then he knocked Cody fucking dead.
No, he got rocked. There
Yeah,
was
look
one
at when he hit
second.
Cody.
Did
like,
you guys watch the
you see
same
his
fight
eyes
that
like,
I watched? There was 1 second
Little full
left.
retard.
There was 1 second left when that happened.
That's true. He could have finished them, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. Ran out of time. Sorry, bro.
I will say TJ's new camp is he's been working a lot of different game plans. Dwayne Ludwig's been coming in. And it's now TJ, Cub, Sayat Awad, Georgia Karakhan, bunch of killers over there. I know Ellenberger's been over there. Juan Archuleta's over there.
Yeah, he looked great in his last fight.
Yeah.
And Sensei Ludwig has been working.
Did you say Sensei Ludwig?
Yeah, that's what he calls himself now, and that's what he. That's
You
how he
can't
signed.
self-proclaim yourself that.
No, that's what he signs.
it's just
That's
a
what he
teacher.
signs now too. It's not Dwayne Bang anymore. It's Sensei Ludwig.
Oh
the
my!
fuck
Just
outta
just,
here.
just to you or?
Press
To,
up.
I don't know. I got him earlier.
That's just you.
He said I have a new signature. And
Jump,
he,
motherfucker.
And he signed.
God
But he's been
damn.
working a different game plan, and I think TJ's already in Cody's head again. Because like TJ's not getting emotional about it, and Cody's getting very
Tyler.
emotional about it.
I'm picking Cody for it. Just for the revenge factor. Just for the revenge factor. I think he's going to come
And
out.
the trilogy. You just want a trilogy,
He's
you
going to
son
come
of
out
a bitch.
hard, and I want a trilogy. I want a trilogy.
I want the winner to fight the winner of DJ Cejudo. I want this DJ to move.
DJ's not moving up. He's not moving up.
But TJ said
I
he
think
could
he
drop
might.
to 125.
Maybe that could happen.
That's what I want to see. But DJ says I want $2 million.
See how ripped, how much muscle he has?
$2 million for the
He
fight?
wants $2 million to fight TJ at 125.
What, $1 million per person that's gonna watch it? That's fucking. Come on, $2 million.
Dude, I'm just. Don't shoot the messenger here.
I mean,
if
he
gets
definitely
pay-per-view-
deserves to
if
get
he
paid a
gets
lot of money.
pay-per-view Pieces, then
Yeah, that's true, actually.
that's
Yeah,
easy.
but I mean, UFC
Get
was
those
the,
points.
the
UFC
lowest
doesn't have
number.
the
They did the
money,
lowest numbers they've had in years last week. It's not like it's struggling.
TJ and Cody have both said we want DJ if we win.
All right. Speaking of which, I think DJ all over Cejudo all day of the week.
I think so too.
I think it's just a repeat.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
I
it's gonna be
love-
as fast.
No, I think it's just with DJ winning. I just don't know if Cejudo has what it takes to beat him. There's a lot of people
I don't know if
saying,
anyone does, honestly.
There's a lot of
Anybody
people
does.
saying that the one guy in the division that could beat DJ is Sergio Pettis, and I don't think he's there yet.
Who's saying that?
Who said that?
Sergio
I'm
Pettis.
seeing it on Twitter, man. I'm seeing it on Twitter.
That's a reach.
Who?
That's a big
Anthony
reach
saying
around.
that? Anthony
No.
Pettis and
Anthony.
Hey man,
You got this
my brother can do it.
right now.
come
Yeah,
on,
I
we got a
don't
lot
see-
of people are saying that. Who's saying that?
Dude, I'm just.
Your tattoo artist?
No.
But who's saying that?
Twitterverse.
All right, so
The
Cub
Twitterverse.
Swanson
Edmund-
against
it's Edmund spreading
Hanato.
Rumors again.
This guy Hanato is really good. He beat Jeremy Stevens. He was beating Ortega until Ortega came back and beat him in the third.
Who?
This fucking
Renato
guy.
Moicano.
Yeah, this guy's. People are sleeping on him. Obviously, I want Cub to win. Cub's my friend. He's my boy. But this guy is really good. His only loss is to Ortega, right, in the last couple of years. And look
He's
at
never
the
lost otherwise. It was a draw.
and look at the guys he's beaten. Who is he beating?
Well, the names,
Yes.
Jeremy Stevens,
Jeremy. Who else?
pretty much. He beat Tom Ninamaki,
Fuck, that guy's amazing. Oh, kidding, I know that guy.
Zybera Tukagov,
Yeah,
and Calvin Cater.
Calvin Cater's pretty good.
He doesn't have a huge resume, and like I said before, Cubs at a new camp now too. Cubs working different stuff, working with Ludwig, working with a lot of
I know,
these
but he
guys.
got that beautiful chick. He's got babies. That's
Kenda?
yeah.
Kenda.
She's
Yeah,
hot.
that's something else to think about. Like he knows he needs to win.
I'm
on
riding with
stage
Cub all
having
day.
kill it?
I think
Yeah.
Cub wins it, and I think they should set up the Aldo Cub rematch.
All right. Also on this card, this is a weird card, by the way. It's J.J. Aldridge versus Payana Stevenson
Poliana Viana.
is on the main card.
There might be a shuffling because we
yeah.
also lost Betch Cohen and Rene Aldana this morning.
Who is
Wait, what?
Payana?
Oh yeah.
Who is-
Injury or
Correa
something, or-
couldn't get
oh, yeah, eye
cleared by
surgery,
the
right?
athletic commission due to eye surgery from last year. For like 5 minutes, they were saying we'll get a replacement for Aldana. They pulled her from the card officially as of this morning.
Oh, my
So they
God.
took another hit.
Would you bang if you were single, Betch Cohen?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Wow, there was
Yes.
just no hesitation. He
No
was like,
hesitation.
I
I've
turned
thought
around.
I've thought of this.
I'm pretty sure he
turned
fucked her
her
3
around.
times in his head
I've
when he
thought
finished
about
that
this.
sentence.
I've thought about this for years, dude.
Really?
I think she's sexy as fuck, man.
I would turn myself
Really?
around and run away.
She's got a,
Yeah.
she's got a
I saw her this
big ol'
morning.
ass.
She's looking good.
So Gabby
man.
Garcia is like your main chick. Like
No,
you would
my
bang Gabby,
number-
no?
my number- Yeah, I would.
Have you seen that picture they showed on Instagram of the one saying that she's pulled from the fight because of her eye thing, though?
Yeah.
But,
Who? Betch Cohen?
yeah, have you seen that photo? Because that is not a flattering photo at all.
No.
No, she does have a great butt.
No, my number one in
and
MMA
and she's confident.
My
and,
number
and you
one
never
hall
know,
pass
man.
in MMA is not Gabby Garcia.
Who? What? Your number one conquest?
My number one hall pass in MMA,
Who is it?
Rowdy Beck.
It's Conor McGregor.
Rowdy Beck?
No,
No,
it's Rowdy Beck.
Rowdy Beck.
Rowdy
That's
Beck.
your girl.
Yeah. And my
Yeah.
girl loves her, so she allowed me to have that hall pass.
Well, guess what? She'll
mine
never
would
have
be
to worry
old
about
school.
that.
I know. I don't. That's why it's an easy hall pass.
I would take it old school. Mine would be Gina Carano.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah. All day.
Drunk Gina's
All
fun.
day.
I would murder her.
Current
guts.
fighters?
Yeah.
I think ABC, man.
Who's ABC?
Amanda
Amanda
Bobby
Cooper.
Cooper. The one who,
Bobby
the
Cooper.
one
I
who
was like, what?
exposed Maganda's
Albuquerque?
tit
When
and
he tried
got
to
her
grab
fired.
ABQ?
Oh yeah, ABQ.
Dude, you see when she tried to grab
ABC,
Dana's
yeah.
cock after a weigh-in? She weighed in and tried to grab Dana's package.
Oh my god, I love that video by the way.
Amanda
Exactly.
I
Bobby
fucking
Cooper.
love that video.
Yeah.
I saw her in Vegas. I was behind her in Vegas. I was like, "There's no way this girl's." She's like 4'11".
Dude, a lot
Did
of
she
those.
try to grab his junk, or did he just get excited? And think
No,
was?
she tried to grab his junk.
She's legit. Like,
It was,
Yeah,
it was
she totally
hilarious. It was hilarious.
I think
I
that's
think
so
an
funny.
underrated fight on this card is Pedro Munoz and Brett Johns. I think that's a really, really good fight. Really good grapplers matchup.
Brett Johns.
Pedro's
But yeah, and the thing is that what's crazy about that is John's coming off a loss to Aljamain. He was like 15-0 before that. So we'll see how
Isn't
he
he
can,
also the guy that got the calf slicer right
Yes,
before that?
yes. He was also
This is a really good grapplers matchup. Munoz is a black belt, right?
Munoz is a legit black belt. Munoz
And
is,
he's out of
is,
Kings.
Ian Harris's professor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm trying to find that photo of Beth, and I just ran into like, oh my god.
Well, listen.
I gotta give a shout out. He's making his UFC debut against a tough motherfucker. Kevin Holland is fighting Thiago Santos,
All right.
who's an animal. But Kevin and I have the same sponsor. Shout out to Punch Gunk. Tough stuff for the rough stuff. Go pick yourself
What's
up.
Punch
Punch
Skunk?
Punch? It's like a Tiger Balm kind of thing. It's a lotion.
You just,
Pain-relieving
you just
lotion.
put it on your
Good, man.
fist.
No,
It's good.
You put it on. It's
Just
like
for
for
fisting?
bruises. Yeah, exactly. It's a lube. I use it for
Sexual performance issues, more common than you think. Over 25% of new ED cases are guys under the age of 40.
Oh no.
And 40% of men by age of 40 struggle to not be able to get and maintain an erection. That's the worst. You finally get a girl home, you're ready to go, or a guy, you're ready to go, and boom, nothing's working. Even the best actor in the world can't fake one. You, CB, you can't fake one.
Nope.
Okay? Why do guys turn to weird
Nope.
solutions or do nothing? They can turn to medicine and science. Go to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. I know, listen, my wife likes it a lot, and I go to forhims.com and I give it to her. So it connects you with real doctors, medical-grade solutions to treat ED, not well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you combat erectile dysfunction. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions backed by science. Trust me, people. Check it out. It's erectile without the dysfunction. No in-person doctor visits. How annoying is that? You got to do your whole day.
I never go to the doctor.
Never again. No more.
I'm not even gonna lie.
especially for boner pills.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is hard made
I'll
easy.
get a popsicle stick.
Check it out. Go to try
Hims
Hims for a
now.
month for just $5. We'll get you tested we'll get you started for just $5 while supplies last. See the website for full details. This will cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/MMA Roasted. That's FORHIMS.com/MMA Roasted. Forhims.com/MMA Roasted. Check it out. Now we're gonna call a guy who right now
Call this guy.
who has some life. The guy was on the national championship team for Alabama. And now he just lost to Machida, his last fight. He's got a fight coming up against Tim Williams. He seems like a really nice guy.
Who is it?
His name is Eryk Anders.
Oh.
And he's the same sponsor that you have, actually.
Hello?
Hey, Eryk Anders, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? You're on the MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Vinc Pichel, Tyler Smith, CB. How are you doing, man?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just got in from another trainer, so just laying in the bed, chill.
Yeah, dude, I've been watching
it's later,
your training regimen. Like,
I forget it's later for
you're
me.
fucking in beast mode all the time now, man.
Man, it's the only way to do it, man. You know, I'm trying to get to the top, so the only way I'm going to get there is through the sweat of my brow, so.
Now you were calling everyone out. I remember every time someone dropped out, you were like, "I'll fight, I'll fight, I'll fight."
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Did anybody take you up on your offers?
Nah. They, a lot of those fights, they got moved to they gave them somebody else, so. Like, I think Elias Theodoro was fighting Antonio Carlos Jr., who was supposed to fight Derek Brunson, who's now fighting, I think Israel Adesanya. So everybody's been, shuffling around.
I mean, do you think these guys do you think they're just scared of your power, or just scared of your athletic ability, or they just don't like you because you're good looking? I mean, what do you think it is?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think all those guys are ranked, so they'd rather fight a ranked guy than somebody who's not ranked. But eventually I get there, so I ain't even tripping.
Now you fought Machida. Obviously, that was your first loss. I thought you won that fight. Some people thought you won. Some people it was close enough. I heard you in an interview say you thought you gave him too much respect. Is that what you're thinking on the whole thing?
Man, I think going back and watching, I just did not know how the judges were scoring the fight. I thought I did more damage. Yeah, he did land more strikes, but, they were like little leg kicks that, I just don't think you can win a fight by kicking somebody with your big toe. So, he was able to edge it out. He scored more points, but, I think him and I both think that I won the fight if you check his demeanor at the end.
Now, were you scoring the fight in your head while you were fighting?
I'm not really, but going back and watching it, I think that he won round one for sure. I was on my back most of the round, so he won round one. I think I got 2, 3, and 4, and he probably edged out 5, on point. And I took him down, but really didn't do anything. He popped right back up, so it really doesn't even count. So he probably got me round 5, but I think I got 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. And I think your stock went up. I don't think it was one of those fights where people were like, oh shit, I don't want to see Eryk fight again. Yeah, and I also think that, you were main eventing in your 4th UFC fight. That's insane.
Yeah, third. So
third.
I think UFC and the people who make the fight, the matchmakers and whatnot, they think highly of me. So, I think I'll be forced to reckon with. Just gotta get back on the winning track.
And I gotta thank you, by the way, because I had a show in Fresno, and there might have been like 9 people there, but you were one of them. So that really.
So there was 8 people there, and one of your friends.
So that really meant a lot to me, man. So thank you.
And we appreciate the tickets, man. Appreciate the hookup.
Oh, no problem, man. It was awesome having you there. And then there was a cougar that was all over you after some lady was like all about you.
She was on,
that noise that good.
She was on my teammate, man. She wasn't on me.
She was all over all you guys, but not you. But you were throwing. I know that you have that hot wife or girl, whatever she is to you. But so I'm saying she was all over. See, she's all over. You were throwing her away from you, which was nice of you, as the respectful gentleman you are. So that's good. Tell your wife I said that.
Man, I was telling my teammate he need to get that mother-daughter action working though.
Yeah, she had a daughter there.
That's what I was hoping.
The mom.
I was hoping for the story this morning.
Yeah, the mom was hotter than the daughter. The daughter was hot too.
I've ran into that before.
Yeah,
and I was super sad.
Yeah, they both had like fake tits and they were just like it was good though. It was actually
far away from home, left the husband and dad home.
Right.
You definitely got to take the mother package.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That was a lot of fun actually. That was cool. Now your girl though, I didn't realize how in shape your girl is. This girl's like a butt model. And yeah, she's on Instagram, and she's always in like amazing shape. But last time I was asking him how much pussy,
I was asking
him how much pussy he got in college at Alabama, and his like girl commented on it. She's like, "Oh hell no," and like just yeah. So I was like,
"You lying?" Listen, man, she know all about my past, so she know I was a college athlete at the top, so
yeah,
she already knows what.
Of course. You got a good one. You got a good one. Now, speaking of your college, I was reading about you that you used to wrestle with all the college football players in the locker room. Now that sounds really gay. Were you guys just wearing jock straps or
were they naked?
Like what was going on there?
Let's get to the.
Y'all the ones asking if we were naked, so that's y'all's fantasy. We were not definitely close. Don't try and pass out your fantasies on me.
We just want those juicy deets. That's all.
What's that?
No, but by the way, that's Vinc Pichel, who has the same manager as you. So wait, so you guys would have like wrestle offs in the locker room?
Yeah, every now and again. It took place a lot more in the dorms than it did the locker room, just because after practice, everybody trying to get up out of there. So you step in the dorm, so. It's not uncommon for somebody to grab somebody.
I like the way that he describes it.
That's hilarious.
Not uncommon.
By the way, I saw last week you were at the Ronald McDonald House in Alabama making kids happy. So thank you for doing that. I used to volunteer there
awesome.
For like 3 years. So that's really cool that you did that.
Yeah, man. The Ronald McDonald House. My sister-in-law, she actually had cancer in her jaw, and when she was going through her treatment, she stayed there. And they stayed at one of the facilities where the whole family is housed there. So, I got a special place in my heart for the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's super awesome. And now you're fighting. You got a fight coming up August 28th against the South Jersey Strangler. Tim Williams, who is a tough guy, not a guy to be overlooked. But what do you know about this guy, and what's your plan?
And I know that his nickname sounds kind of serial, you know. It sounds kind of racist.
It does.
It does.
He's a tough guy, man. You know, he comes forward. I think he's definitely looking to grapple. You know, half his wins are by submission. I believe all his losses are by knockout. So I'd imagine he's going to try and, you know, get in the clinch, you know, get tied up, get it to the ground. So and look for that choke. So I think I'm better everywhere on the feet. You know, on the ground, even if my back's on the ground, I'm still dangerous. So I really don't think he poses much of a threat. And I'm going to go home with that, you know, first round knockout. So
now, I mean, now is there pressure though? Is there pressure that like, because you know, like Anthony Smith knocked him out twice, and someone else knocked him out. Is there pressure to get that knockout? And is there a trap of sometimes headhunting or looking for the knockout and then worried about, oh shit, now you're open?
Yeah, you know, I think that there's no pressure to get the knockout. You know, at the same time, it's no secret. You know, everybody knows when I'm in there, what I'm trying to do. In previous fights, you know, I've gotten, you know, kind of tired headhunting before I got to the UFC. So I'm definitely not going to just go in there and brawl. You know, it'll be technical. It'll be, you know, pick one apart from the outside, and you know, when I see my opportunity, I'll take it.
I can't wait for this fight. It's in Nebraska. Are a lot of your friends and family coming?
I think my mom, my wife, and my kids, my brother.
Nice. Now, I got a daughter. My daughter is due today, actually. My wife is due today.
Oh, you want to talk to man?
Thank you.
Here we are.
I know.
Thank you for talking to me.
Any advice you have as far as being a good parent?
Man, you know, when they're first born, you really can't do anything. You just make sure they don't die. So, you know, you figure it there, man. It's pretty easy, I think.
Now, hey, remember when I was watching the Ali G show. Didn't he interview Alabama? Didn't he go in the locker room? And was that Alabama?
Yeah, we interviewed Shad Williams, I believe his name was.
Were you on the team when that happened?
Nah, that dude, he's a little bit older than me. I think he played in, you know, the early 2000s, late 90s, and I didn't get that until 2005.
It was one of the funniest things. He goes as his like gay character, Bruno, and starts interviewing people in the Alabama locker room, asking them like, what? And like they're like, you have a lot of supporters and a lot of fans. What do you want to say to all those men? And the guy got so fucking pissed.
Oh yeah, he was gay, right?
That was one of the funniest fucking Ali G's ever. Oh, I was dying.
I never watched that show.
Oh, you got to watch the new one. It is the funniest thing you'll ever see in your life.
It's still on?
No, they brought it back, and the characters he plays are like I'll show you one. It's one of the funny. I'll show you after this. So funny. So now it seems like we were talking about this earlier, where it seems like the guys after they win a fight, and they're like, "Oh, I'll take on anyone the UFC wants me to fight," and that just goes. Everyone rolls their eyes and goes, "Ugh." So if you beat Tim Williams, I don't want you to overlook Tim Williams because that's how people lose. But if you do you have a plan on who you're going to call out?
It's tough to plan this far in advance because, you know, it seems like all the middleweights are fighting in Madison Square Garden or on that Sao Paulo card. So, man, I really don't think about who's next. You know, the week of the fight when I'm sitting there cutting weight, when I'm just sitting in the tub, you know, sweating, you know, I'll kind of go through and see who's fighting when and see who's available. So definitely after I win, I'll have a name on the tip of my tongue. But, you know, as of right now, I'm just, you know, focused on my training. And, you know, like I said, all those guys are getting shuffled around right now. So we'll see where the cards land.
Now, what is it about Elias? Is it about Elias' good looks and his abs and his long hair? Is that why you're like this rough and tumble guy who never got pussy back in high school? Is that why you want to fight him so bad?
Oh, man, I've always been in the game. No, I mean, I don't have anything personal against him. He's in the top 15, so.
I hate him because he's pretty.
I'm trying to away from the top. He just doesn't play.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. It's just funny that Lies isn't like the name people usually call out.
He's not, but you know what? He has one of those faces I just kind of want to punch.
You want to punch him?
Yeah. I'm not even in that weight class.
He's funny though. He's like a ring. Yeah, he's like a ring car girl and the whole thing. I can see why. Now, is that why? Do you want to be a ring car girl? Is that your whole? Are you jealous of the
jealousy?
Yeah, is that?
He took my
So
hopes and dreams.
That's why I said that.
right. Now, you and your girl, you guys are married, right? So it's your wife. Now, where did you guys get
Yeah.
married? Now, where did you guys get married?
We got married here in Alabama, in Birmingham.
Birmingham. Now, how do you guys keep it fresh? The marriage.
Well, I mean, we're so young in our marriage, so it's still very fresh. We've only been married about 3 years. So,
Does she like
you know,
this?
I mean, you seen the way she looks, man. She don't got to do much, you know.
I mean, are you like? I know she's really fit. Are you like, hey, babe, do some face squats or something? Is that kind of
face squats?
Yeah. You gotta see this.
No, we're a naked household, man. Everybody walks around here naked, so you know.
Oh, it's like that.
you know, that's an,
Let me know when I can come over and like you're not gonna be there. A naked household. I have a fully clothed household. It's nothing but layers here.
Layers.
Now Vince and Jess seem like they're a couple, and she likes him and he likes her, but he's afraid.
seem like we're a
well,
couple.
they like each other, but he's afraid to make his move. Eryk, what advice would you give to young Vince here?
man, hey, you gotta shoot your shot, man.
Yeah.
I got what?
Shoot your shot.
You gotta shoot your shot.
That's what I tell him.
It's 100% don't take. So,
But he
man,
gets
what's
the
he
thing
gonna
is,
do?
girls fuck with his head, and then he won't leave the house for 6 months. So I'm very concerned about this. But
You need to phone call today, man. Put a wrap on the relationship if she doing all that.
yeah,
Adam's always concerned for my well-being.
I am. But he's right. You gotta shoot your shot, dude. Jesse's a very fertile chick. Like guys are constantly trying to get in that hole, man. You have to be there, bro. All of them. You fucking creep
All
up.
5.
Yeah, all of them. Well, listen, Eryk, you're a great guy. You're a role model. You're a great fighter. August 28th, live in Lincoln, Nebraska. Is it on the main card?
I believe so, yes. It's August 25th.
August 25th. You against
Mr.
Tim
Details over here.
Tim Williams, the South Jersey Strangler, as opposed to the North Jersey Strangler. But yes, we're gonna get this
There's
guy.
a North one too?
Yeah, there's like East Jersey
I
Strangler.
wonder if is there an East Jersey Strangler or a West Jersey Strangler? Do they meet?
Yeah, right. Is it like the Wicked Witches?
Strange.
That is very specific. So, well, thank you. Thanks a lot, Eryk, and good luck with everything, brother.
Yeah. Good luck, brother.
Hey, brother, thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, that was Eryk Anders.
I would just like to say, Greg, if you were here now, you'd be so jealous of how I'm sitting.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, Eryk
Without being victimized.
Eryk Anders is a beast, man.
He is.
He is.
And I think that he's such a good athlete, and he's just learning everything for the first, it's all new to him, you know?
That's the thing. It's like we're now seeing all this new generation of like the college athletes that didn't make it to the NBA or didn't make it to the NFL, but are like right there.
And now they're in
are
MMA.
transferring to MMA, and it's like they're fucking freak athletes. They have a crazy work ethic.
Yeah.
They're disciplined. They're coachable. We're gonna start seeing a lot more of these guys, I think.
By the way,
I think so,
You know what's
too.
annoying?
That's
A different
scary to
topic is so there was a picture of Colby Covington and Ronda Rousey yesterday.
Oh, the one that you tweeted?
Yeah, so I wrote-
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, so I wrote the
greatest
female
female
champion of all time
And
and
Ronda
Ronda
Rousey.
Rousey. It's
What
a-
fucking suit was he wearing? What was that thing?
I don't know. It was like that question mark guy that used to remember that guy on TV that used to be like,
Yes.
It made me think of
The
Chevy
one that
Checkers.
tells you the giant novel of make free money from the government
yeah,
by doing nothing.
It reminded
Oh
me
my
of that
God, I
guy's
remember
suit.
that guy.
It
that
reminded
guy
me
was
of,
the best.
reminded me of that guy's suit. So anyway, so I write that joke. It's a simple joke, and I know as soon as I put it out,
simple joke.
someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're making fun of women, saying that they're less than men," and fucking. lo and behold, I get a girl going, I'm kind of triggered or something, like, because, you know, that's the best you can come up with, your punchline? Oh, you're such a great comedian. Like, I've written 10 million fucking jokes. That's one of them. And it's
I'm
a simple
honestly
thing.
so sick of people being so sensitive about anything and everything. Like,
Calling a guy a girl,
fuck
like,
your feelings.
I wasn't
Shut the fuck up. Keep it to yourself.
I was only calling him a girl because I know that it would be funny and it would annoy him. I wasn't saying women are less than men or yada 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 or anything else. It's like, is that the point?
That Leslie Jones
Yeah.
View thing where she was like yelling at people like, stop fucking being so
sensitive.
like, so sensitive.
And so she's tweeting me, you're better than that. Yeah, of course, that's not my greatest joke ever, but it was a stupid fucking picture.
It's a quick quip.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And also, I know that Colby would laugh at that. Like, also know that Colby's a friend of mine.
I laughed at it.
He would laugh.
You're not the bar though. You're not the bar.
I'm pretty
You're
sure
way
everyone.
below the bar.
I know, but I'm pretty sure everyone would laugh at that.
Yeah, Gary Tonin wrote "dead."
it was funny.
Yeah, and Tim Sylvia retweeted it. Like I like the
Plus the fact he's holding a belt that's not his.
well, it's just funny. 'Cause I know, but that's also
Stripped.
No, they
But
didn't
that's
strip him. They're not going to strip him.
They're not.
That's what I heard.
But that's a silly enough joke where he would laugh
It's
at.
just
But of course,
easy.
I got some girl who's literally a third wave feminist on her thing, saying like she doesn't appreciate that. I'm like, come
Then stop.
on.
Then don't fucking
Maybe
look
it's
at
not
it.
for you.
I
Okay.
it's like I post something on Facebook and somebody's like, "That's offensive." I'm like, "All right, bye. We're not friends
it is,
anymore."
yeah.
Like it's just a fucking
Then
joke.
somebody took my joke, did that, put the same thing. This guy that I know, Mike, well, actually no, he's a friend of mine, and he does the same. And I go, my friend hits me up, hey man, someone stole your joke. Took that joke of Rhonda, but he spelled it Rhonda with an H. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna take my joke, at least spell her name right. Right?
Honda.
Well, it's
Honda.
the
And then-
Brazilian thing.
So then I wrote like,
Honda type
I wrote and snapshotted. He goes, I stole it from you.
We know. I'm aware.
And then he goes, I go, it's okay, man. Next time, just give me credit. There's no H in Rhonda, but there is an honesty. Like a fucking like.
I like the one where somebody made Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah.
They put the belt on him because that's what Colby kind of looked like.
shit, dude.
It looks like
It
Forrest
was-
won the title.
It was fucking hilarious.
It's just so
dude.
funny. And by the way, last week
always a Forrest
Henzo
Gump
Gracie.
Yeah.
Choked out Yuki Kondo.
Is Yuki Kondo good?
Yeah.
He's the one that's most famous for getting stomped in the face by Vanderlei Silva.
Oh,
in Pride. He's the one that like Vanderlei chased on the ropes,
Into the
knocked him
corner.
down, and then just stomped on his fucking face.
They asked Henzo, why don't you fight someone your age? He goes, I don't want to beat up an old man.
He said that?
Yeah, he said that.
But that guy was old, isn't he?
But he wasn't.
I mean,
He's older.
Yuki's been around.
But he wasn't
A
Like-
full-blown head of gray
He's in
hair.
his 40s.
But he wasn't 51 though.
It's the problem is if you've been in Pride, it looks like
Right.
you're 170
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah. And plus, he's Asian, so he could be 107 and look like he's 30.
You would never know.
I'm offended by that as a proponent for non-Asian
This is
people.
unbelievable. Like really calling a guy a girl, that's offensive.
It's
Like,
not offensive
I
at
mean,
all.
come on. I
The
mean,
meme I put up of Demi Lovato last week was offensive.
What did
What'd you put up?
I didn't put it. I stole it from somebody, but it was
No,
somebody.
Oh, even worse.
But
Go on.
it was somebody putting a lighter up to a spoon and said "Candlelight Vigil" for Demi Lovato.
Oh,
my
fuck.
But then our friend Shane Crutchton commented a new one of this like twacked out heroin addict laying next to a bathtub passed out. And he put in there, I'm Demi Lovato, and you're watching the Disney Channel. And I was like, okay, that's way worse than mine.
See, like,
But some guy got triggered. He's like, my family member's battling a severe heroin addiction. I'm like, I know a lot of people that are battling heroin addiction. This is not to them, and she wasn't on heroin.
And it also doesn't mean it's not sad. Like,
And it's also,
that's
you
how
weren't-
you
and
deal
you
with
weren't-
things that are a bummer.
and you
It's
weren't
funny 'cause it's
Humor to
sad.
me
Fucking
is
joke
how I
about it.
get
and you
through
weren't
depression.
tagging your family members heroin
Yeah,
person. Like,
I was like, this was not directed at you. He goes, well, I'm still offended. I'm like, well, then fucking delete
but
me.
people
then.
think is you take
my
offense,
God.
you don't give offense.
Like, I
Like-
get through my own I have bipolar depression, and I get through it through laughter and humor.
Through making fun of heroin addicts, that's very nice of you, dude.
Well,
That's
As long as
I've
it
been in
happens-
rehab
whatever-
4 times, so I've seen it all.
no, even look.
Look how happy he is because of it.
Here's the deal. I mean, like, there's really almost nothing that people can do to offend me other than get people fired for making jokes. That to me is offensive because that's my livelihood.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You have to look. The reason people make jokes is to get a laugh, to make people happy. That's the reason. That's the core. And for
Sometimes
every
you're not
10
offended by
jokes
that
you
joke.
make, 3 will work. maybe even 2.
Right.
And that's if you're a good comic.
Right.
Okay, if you're a bad comic, it's usually 0 to 1, right? So that means 7 jokes aren't going to work. But
What are your odds?
what we've done is actually depends. But what we've done though is that we've actually taken the ability to fail away. Going, if you fail on your attempt, I'm getting you fired, and that's
Right.
fucked up, man.
It is fucked up. It's real
Completely fucked up.
Like,
It's just not.
I have no words.
Hey, it
Or
leaves
like-
no error
or
to be
like-
human.
Or using it to get you like blackballed from a club or a performance or
Your whole life.
an event.
That woman says, "Oh, you should be opening for Rogan with that." Blah blah blah. I go, "That's one joke I've made. Look at the 72.
was.
Look at the
You should have just
72,000.
bashed her for the next half hour. That's
I
all
don't.
I've
She
done.
has 20 followers, and that's what she wants.
That's my favorite.
That's where I would've
That's my
started.
favorite.
That's where I would've started.
That's what she wants.
What the thing is.
But now
Yeah,
I'm making her important. Okay, by her saying that to me and no one responding, she's basically talking to herself.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
So
We've talked about
Well,
this
and
a
here's
lot
the
on the
thing.
show.
It's like these people that take offense to that stuff, it's never gonna it's never gonna be enough. There's not gonna be a day where they wake up and they're like, "Oh, I took care of all the people that have
And they
offended
never
me,
apo-
and
and-
now I can live my life."
And they never.
Like,
I've had
oh.
one guy. I went back in the day when I used to get bashed on the fucking daily by SJW in the MMA communities. I had one guy say to me, "Hey man, he was a pretty big work for like Bleacher Report or something." And he's like, "I took shots at you all the time. I was jealous and mean, and I'm sorry." And I was like, all right, that was pretty cool. But that's one guy out of like because people never go, I
Did you
was
cross
wrong.
his name off the list?
Yes, yeah, it was like that Steve Buscemi. Yeah.
Fucking Billy Madison.
All right.
Keep going.
So we're calling a guy right now who.
Oh, I didn't even remember that. I don't remember you ever being that rude to me.
That was one of my favorite movies.
Me too. It still is.
Early Adam Sandler could do no wrong.
Yeah. And Chris Farley, Tommy Boy, that's still one of my favorite.
Oh
movies.
yeah, I cried when Tommy Boy's father died. I actually teared up.
The movie?
Yeah.
It was pretty sad.
Hello.
Why, hello.
Hello?
Hello. Is this Sodiq Yusuff?
Who's this?
This is Adam Hunter from the MMA Roasted Podcast.
Oh, what's up, champ?
What's up, man? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm not the champ. You are the champ, dude. I'm here with with Tyler Smith and Vinc Pichel. Congrats on your amazing fight last week. That was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh my God! I mean, you just you look like a world beater, and you were a 3-1 underdog against this guy. They're all about Mike Davis, and you almost finished him in the first round.
Yeah, you know I should have known 3-1 underdog in the first place.
I mean, what do you think? Why you think people were just overlooking you? Do you think they just kind of didn't know who you were?
Well, honestly, I think it's more just what his accolades was, and they probably didn't do much research. Honestly, when I looked at the schedule and I saw most of the people in my corner were kind of underdogs too, so it looked like an A side, B side type of thing. But somebody dropped the ball. That's all it was.
Well, you looked amazing, man. I mean, you look like a world beater. I was thoroughly impressed. Now, were you worried though, because you didn't finish him? Were you worried about not getting the contract?
No, man, no way. Well, as soon as the fight was over, honestly, based off when I watched the video, based off the first round, we had the contract sealed. But in the fight, once it was over, I knew for sure it was either we was both going to get contracts or I was going to get a contract. But I knew I had it for sure just because of the skill level that we displayed. Both of us are really good fighters, you know. And I was lucky enough to be the third fight. I already saw fight 1 and fight 2, and I knew I had those 2 beat. The only thing I had to hope for was that Nick Newell didn't go out there and do like some crazy rolling thunder kick or something like that, and that was gonna shut us up.
I mean, the first fight had like an 11-year-old was fighting or something. It was like this. It was like,
yeah. What's the name of the new Spider-Man? The guy that plays the new Spider-Man. That's what he reminds me of.
yeah, I seriously was going to call child services. I was like, there's a kid getting beat up right now on TV, and everyone's cheering.
Televise this?
Now, I got to talk to you about your life, man, because while you were fighting, they kind of glossed over. They're like, yeah, he comes from a polyamorous family. He's got 4 mothers, one dad, and 19 brothers and sisters.
Oh, are you polygamous?
Like,
They just said it like it was something normal.
Yeah, like they were acting as if that was like, oh yeah, he's from New Jersey. Like you had. I mean, you had four mothers growing up.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. As a child, it didn't seem like something strange. You know, I didn't realize it was strange until I was out of it. But you know, I'm from Nigeria, and over there's not really any laws against having more than one wife. And my dad is Muslim, so he already had 3 wives before he was with my mom. And you know, it was the coolest thing growing up. We used to have like whole soccer games against the whole neighborhood, the Yusuff against everybody else, and you always had somebody to have your back. You know, you can't fight 16 brothers and sisters. You know, so things were kind of safe.
Now, I mean, Mother's Day must have been terrible. You had to buy 9 gifts, or like.
Yeah, but there wasn't really. I don't think anybody think about Mother's Day in Africa.
I mean, what about Christmas? Oh, you're Muslim. You guys celebrate? What do they celebrate?
Hey. And here's the thing too, man. Is like it's just more love to spread around. Like I really only have one real mother, but I know it would be very hurtful if they heard that. I look at all of them as my extended mom and. If I do every one of my brothers and sisters, I just call them my brother and sister. I don't call them my stepbrother or my stepsister. I really only have one full-blooded little brother, but everybody's my brother. Everybody's my sister.
Now, did your dad? I mean, was like mom number 1 on Monday and mom number 2 Tuesday?
hey, man! Now that I'm getting older, man. I hate hearing these fucking stories, man, because it's like, all right, now you're old enough to be in on the jokes and stuff like that. And my last trip back to Nigeria, I remember one of my older brothers was talking about he used to always watch my mom like fail to get into the bedroom, like she'll get all done up and stuff like that. And try to make her way to the bedroom, and then like by the time she gets there, there's another wife that's already there, and she gotta take the walk and came back to.
Oh no! Wait, that really happened?
Man, imagine hearing this. Imagine hearing this about your mom. Like, man, I don't want to hear this shit, Joe.
Right.
It was just feel like this didn't happen.
Right.
What's the point of having 4 wives if you're only going to sleep with one of them at a
Well,
time?
I know, but
And what happens?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, did they all sleep together? Was it like him in the bed with the 3 moms, or they all had different rooms?
Nah, I think they used to alternate in and out.
Yeah, and if they each get their own day, what happens if there's more than 7?
Daddy was a Rolling Stone, man.
No, there was 4. There was 4 moms. He had 4 moms and 19 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but I want to know, like, let's say a guy has more than 7 wives. What happens then?
Yeah, then you got
more than one.
You got to do 2 on Tuesdays or something. You got to go like.
They cut their days into 22 and a half hours instead of 24.
Now, this was normal. Like, so, like, when it was like take your mom to work day or the school day or something.
All of them.
Like, did they all come to your events and stuff?
You got to remember, I left Nigeria at 9 years old.
Oh,
okay. So from then on, it was just me, my mom, and my little brother.
Oh, okay.
So it went from being the second to the youngest to me now being the older one in the house.
Now, was it weird having only one mom? I mean, was it like?
Was it back to
Nah, it was strange not having protection. You know. Like when I got here, that was the first time I had to deal with bullies. But before.
Oh no!
Hello. Fuck. Hello.
In the next grade, or at least being the seniors of the school, you know.
Now, okay. So you moved to Maryland. Your mom takes you to Maryland. She says, "We gotta get out of here. There's too many people in the house." So she takes you over there. And now the kids make fun of you because you're from Africa and you look a little different. Did they fuck with you?
Man.
They did?
You already know. Here was a funny. Well, the biggest one was the accent when I first got there, because I didn't. There was a lot of words I couldn't really say without messing it up.
What
and
words?
There was a lot of seeing Spanish kids for the first time. No, when I was in Nigeria, it never really clicked. Like, black people didn't really click, and Spanish people didn't really click. I was expecting to come over here and see like the kids from Home Alone. I was expecting to either be in like New York the really was snowing all the time, or to be like in like the beach, because that's all you saw on TV. It was either like a beach scene or snow. And I came here to Maryland, and I was like, man, the fuck is this? Like, I came when it wasn't snowing either. I was like, man, where's the beach and where's the snow? You know?
Bunch of,
like, it felt like a
that's probably the last spot you should have went for that.
The kids, there was a little bit of a hard adjustment because of the accent and not being used to the customs. Like, here, they didn't have to wear a uniform. I was wearing uniform to school for like a good 3 months until like a kid who came up to me was like, man, you know you can wear whatever you want here, right? Like all the other kids used to wear different clothes every day. I used to wear the same clothes, but I was the best fucking fourth grader there was. I was the best fourth grader.
Now, do you what language do they speak over in Nigeria?
So there's a couple of different languages. The three main ones are Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. And I'm from Yoruba tribe, so I speak Yoruba. And like outside in the public, everybody speaks like broken English. Like that's kind of like the language that they could all relate to. But Yoruba is always my language, and I spoke good English already before I came here. I just had a thick accent, and there was some words I couldn't understand. Oh, let me tell you another funny story. All right, so when I first got here, fucking little kids, like we're in Maryland, and you know, it's like at that time the neighborhood wasn't all of that yet. It was starting to get a lot better, but it's still a little rough. But the kids, like my name was Sodiq, and I was trying to tell everybody, yeah, my name's Sodiq, but they would say, is their name Sodiq or is their name Sodiq? And like you know, like Sodiq, and I couldn't tell the difference between what they were saying. So like whatever the last thing they said was, I was like, yeah, it's that. And then all of them would like burst out into laughter. And like, I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, man, these kids always fucking laugh every time they say my name. But
then you were like, you want to see a dick? And then you show them your dick, and they all ran away. Just probably fucking.
What is that?
Little stuff like that, and like trying to find out if I grew up with like lions and tigers and stuff like that. After a while, you just kind of just like go with the flow. It was rough until I got into my first fight. Because I beat up like the class bully and the guy everybody was scared of, and that's when things got rough for me because I realized the power of beating somebody up. So that was now my answer to everything. But it got me to be the cool guy in school. So it was a little that I went through a rough patch of always getting in trouble for trying to fight people. But it was also something that had to be done because I didn't want to be the victim forever.
No, right. Now you're 9 years old. You beat up the school bully. How do you know how to fight so well? Is that just from your brothers and your growing up, or did you actually?
I'm trying to tell you, when I got into a fight against that bully, I was terrified. But it went so easy. I was like, man, they're built different in this country. Because in Nigeria, I used to get beat up all the time. Like my brothers would put me against my cousins. Like I never had problems with people on the outside because nobody wanted to mess with us. But like my older brothers and sisters, like they'll make me fight like my cousin, and he was like younger than me, and like I was always like a crybaby. I would always lose. But when I got here, I was expecting to lose to the bully, but I had to like he kept slapping. He slapped me from the lunchroom all the way to class. Like in elementary school, we all walked in a single file line from lunch back to class, and he just kept on slapping the back of my head all the way to class. And that's the point where I just got tired, and I sat there. I was like, all right, guess we're fighting. And like it went so easy, man. I was like, man, yeah, these guys are built different. Like Americans don't know anything about struggling.
Yeah, well, yeah. We have a kid on our team, our wrestling team, that kind of went through the same thing. Some kid was picking on him. This kid from Dagestan or Chechnya beat the shit out of him, and the teacher was like, "You're wrestling," and like then he was like our best kid. But now. When did you actually start doing like real training?
Honestly, I was a huge fan of MMA for a long time, but I didn't know how to get. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so there was not going to be any extracurricular activities for me. So it was basically anything I was going on with school. And then I found out, and I'm also from PG County, Maryland. There's not a lot of wrestling around here, but I heard Joe Rogan say something about wrestling on one of the UFCs, and he was like, high school wrestling. I was like, man, high school wrestling, I wonder if my school has that. And it turns out my school did have a wrestling team that nobody knew about. There was only about 4 of us. There was 4 people on the team. So I was like, then I tried to get into wrestling that same year as a sophomore, but I was too busy being a knucklehead. I didn't have enough degrees to actually qualify. You have to have no E's, and you have to have a board of a 2.0, which now looking back was such an easy thing to do, but back then it was a little bit of a struggle. I think I had one E that I couldn't get off. I was able to get past 2.0, but I still had an E. But the next year, I started wrestling. So I started wrestling as a junior and a senior, and I did pretty well. And right after that, I didn't have all my papers right to go straight into college. So I took 1 year off, and I came straight to Team White Urban and started training full time.
Well, I mean, James Vick is really high on you. So you and James are training partners?
Yeah. James, man, James known me since before I even started doing MMA. When I first joined the team, there was a rule where you had to get to a certain level in jiu-jitsu before you could actually do MMA. So James knew me before I was even throwing jabs and crosses. James knew me from all the way from the get-go.
You guys should do a remake of 48 Hours. You and James Vick,
or Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, or it's really, yeah. I think that would be great. These two as cops. Now that you're finally in the UFC, you're a handsome guy. You're a fun guy. Are you getting some high quality puss or what?
You said some high quality puss?
No, puss, like chicks. Any ladies?
He's got 9 wives.
Women?
Man, that's never really been an issue. The issue has been more focusing on what you're supposed to do. Just trying to focus on the fight. I actually have a girl. I've been with the same girl for about two years now, and the only thing is she kind of just fades away whenever fight time comes. I cut off a lot of people and focus strictly on the fight. And right now, you just gotta scan through the DMs of Instagram and find the ladies that you want to make sure to stay far away from you, because some of them can be trouble.
They could be a lot of trouble. Now, what does this girl look like? Your 2-year fling.
You said what you want to what?
Now, what does she look like? Is she white, black, Spanish, Greek?
She was black girl. as much as my dad wish I was African, it was going to be an African. It's a black girl.
Black girl, nice. And then she's cool with you not being around during fights? I could see that could be a problem. She's like, oh, hell no, I'm coming with you, or, something like that.
No. Well, during the fight, sometimes it comes to watch the fight. It's just during fight camp, I cut off a lot of people. I cut off a lot of stuff around fight camp. When the closer the fight gets, I cut off everything. I kind of stopped watching MMA stuff that much, just to give my mind some time to ease. Yeah. It's hard constantly being on fight mode all the time. A lot of people, if you look up my history and the way my training is, I'm really at the gym 24/7. Now, a lot of people say that as just something cool to say, but I really don't. I wake up from 10 till 10:30. I'm at the gym. 10 in the morning, 10:30.
No, I actually read that.
There.
I read you do 3 hours in the morning and 4 hours at night of training.
And that's minimum. Sometimes they'll always throw some random stuff in there, or some boxers from out of town are coming in. It's all right, man, we're sparring today. We're doing blah blah. So that's just minimum. Hopefully, the days where if I spar super early and I only have to do strength and conditioning, that's the only time where I really get to have some chill time. But it's still too much being in the gym the whole time. You need other stuff to do to take your mind off.
Right. Now, after you won, did your 18 brothers and sisters call you up and congratulate you, or your mom?
Not all of them, but most of them did. So the thing is, there's still some that don't have good access to internet and stuff like that, but they use WhatsApp in Nigeria. WhatsApp is kind of pretty popular because it doesn't take up the data. So what we have is a group chat where all of my brothers, we call it the Yusuff group chat, all brothers and sisters.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the ones that are in a good place where they can actually watch the fight, what they do is one of them, my older he's 2 brothers older than me. He was recording little clips of the fight, and he's putting it in the group chat. So they're not watching it live, but they're watching little clips and little seconds. And the other ones that can watch it too will explain what's going on through chat. So there's a lot of stuff, man. I love my family, man.
Now I read that you said that there's Ngannus all over Nigeria. There's that you said that there's all these guys just like Ngannou walking around Nigeria. Is that true?
Lurking.
Man, I'm trying. So last time I went, no, not last time. 2 trips ago when I went back to Nigeria, we went to the beach. Just to relax and chill. And if you just look left to right, right to left, you just see that all these little giant dudes walking around with six packs that don't do a single exercise. They just wake up in the morning and they have abs, you know? It's like, genetics is a real thing, no matter how much people try to act like it doesn't exist. It exists.
That's hilarious. Man, I would never am bringing my girl to Nigeria.
Hey, you'd be a rare commodity, though. You know, there's not a lot of white guys walking around through Nigeria.
Yeah, that's because every guy's in Ghana. Are you out of your fucking mind?
They might want something different. Once I said, if you eat a steak every night, sometimes you might just want a hot dog, you know?
Hey, I got to tell you, man.
Sometimes you want a little guy.
I don't know that many Nigerians, but the ones I do, I know Godfrey, who's a really funny comic. I knew Kamaro. I knew the Njekawani brothers. And they are the nicest people, sweetest people, and just badasses. So they're doing something right over there.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's the way the culture is. It's the way we're raised. I forgot what I was talking to the other time. Is all like if you talk to Nigerians, like in between the 2-minute conversation you have, they're gonna tell you that they're Nigerian because we're proud people and we all kind of share the same story. It's like there's little tiny subtle differences. Of course, mine's a lot different because I grew up in a polygamous house. But like most of the time, the struggles are all the same, especially the ones that migrate over to another country.
Yeah, well, I love it, man. Well, listen, man, I'm a fan for life, and I can't wait for your next fight. When are you fighting next?
I'm not sure. I got some great news today. My foot's not fractured; it was just like some ligament damage. So once this is all good and ready to go, I'll be right back in the gym. Hopefully, something around November or December. That seems like a good enough time. I would really like to fight on the same card as Vic. Or if they do like some like African card, man, we're starting to, like, the numbers are starting to rise up on these Africans in here, man. If they do like a little African card, like the way they showed love to the Irish people, it would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, listen, thank you for being on the podcast, and keep doing what you're doing. You're obviously doing something right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, let me do some plugs.
Sure.
So everybody follow me on all my social medias is Super Sodiq. I really want everybody to go subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. I'm a big fan of like YouTube, the YouTube community. I like to get into that. The YouTube channel is Super Sodiq.
And how do you spell that?
SUPER and Sodiq SODIQ. Super Sodiq. I do a lot of background stuff on like lead up to fights and stuff like that. So I like to get a little bit more subscriber and build it into something big.
Love it. I love it. Well, thanks for everything, and take care, brother. Have a great weekend.
You too, man.
Bye. All right, that was Super Sodiq. That kid's a star.
Yeah, he's a super cool dude.
Oh
Real chill back.
That kid's a star. You know, super nice guy and just a badass and funny as shit, dude. You know?
Yeah, he trains over at Lloyd Irvin's with James Vick.
Yeah.
James Vick too. Me and Vick are still buddies from all over.
Any thoughts on Super Sodiq, Tyler?
I can't even find him on Instagram.
SUPERS. I just tagged them all in a.
SADIQ.
It's ADIQ. I don't know, maybe I can't spell. Yeah, he's a killer, man. He's a killer. Funny guy.
Yeah.
I want to see him do well in the UFC.
I think he will, man.
He looked on the mic.
Dude, it was one of those things where I was watching him and I was like, ooh, what is this? You know, like sometimes you watch certain people, you're like, this is different. You know, that's kind of how I felt when first time I watched that kid Tamar, or what's that guy, the guy out of the trains with Edgar and those guys.
Tamer?
Yeah, that kid.
Oh, David Tamer?
No, not David Tamer. No, the guy.
More Valiev?
The guy from Dagestan, the big tall guy. Sabit. Yeah, first time I saw him, I was like,
Oh, Magomed Sharapov?
Yeah, Sabit
Yeah.
is a fucking
I was
killer.
like, what is this?
Oh, is that how you say it?
And I was watching him, and he was buried on one of those like UFC Japan cards or something. Like, and I was like, it was
He fought in, it was the Phoenix, UFC Phoenix card.
No, but he fought overseas before that.
He's still fighting.
And it was one of those,
right?
and it was
He's fighting
one of those things where I watched him and I go, this is the next champion. Like this is first fight in.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Next.
fighting Yair Rodriguez.
I'm excited for that fight.
Lots of spinning shit.
So what do you got coming up?
I loved that video of Zabit when he fought Kyle Bochniak. And
Oh yeah.
And that guy made the video, the Aussie guy that like.
Aussie Man reviews.
Yeah, the Aussie Man reviews, dude. The video he made of that fight
I haven't
fucking
seen that
killed me, dude. It was so good. But then someone bitched about copyright and got shut down.
Fuck
It
those
disappeared.
people. So what do
I'm
you
so pissed.
what do you got coming up, Vince?
Nothing. Just training, working my ass off. I just got a new washer, which is the excitement of my life right now.
Nice.
My washer took a shit, and I found out that.
No.
Yep, I found out so my washer took a shit, and then I found out my washer that took a shit has a recall on it because apparently the drum, when you on the spin cycle, it comes loose, and the drum fucking basically just walks.
Do you need a
off and
dryer?
fucks people
I have
up.
a working dryer.
Huh?
I'm getting rid of my dryer.
No, I have a dryer. My set's brand new. It's like 3 years old. But yeah, so the washer apparently has a recall because the drum in it, if you put it on high speed, it'll come loose and fucking walk off and like fuck whatever's up in its way.
Fuck.
And people got hurt. Like some lady got her jaw broken, some other lady got her knee like torn. Like a couple people got messed up from it, I guess.
Washers?
Yeah, from the washer drum. Because dude, those things spin like 60 or 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean? When
Yeah,
they're
of course.
spinning.
Yeah.
And that thing, like when it catches momentum, it just fucking catches the ground.
Like when Homer
dreidels off
Simpson,
somewhere?
like at Moe's Tavern when they were betting on the washer and dryer, which one's gonna make it out the door
Dude,
first.
that's why Dominic Cruz was out for 3 years. People don't know that.
He's back. He's cleared.
I thought he slammed the door.
Is he really?
Yeah, he got cleared.
Nice.
He wants to fight now.
Good. I mean, that guy was problems for anybody.
And our boy Bubba J signed with Brave.
Yes, there we go. So I can't wait to fight him and see him watching in
Can't wait
2024.
to fight him.
Can't wait to see him fight in 2024.
Yeah,
when
he's signed with Brave Combat Federation.
Brave
It's
FC.
like a new up and coming
never heard of
one.
it.
Like
Yeah, it's over in England, I think, right? Or
we'll see. I mean,
I'm happy for him, man.
I just wanted him to fight.
Yeah.
I just want to see him back in there. He corners everybody. I saw him at LFA.
So Tyler, what do you got coming up?
Hopefully we can get this fight figured out for like October.
He's looking for a fight. If you know anybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
his first pro fight.
In the meantime.
Oh, it's gonna be your first one?
Yeah.
I thought you had a pro fight already.
Can me and Vince corner you?
I'll corner you.
That would be awesome.
No, I have my
Corner you in
corner
a dark
set
room.
up. I actually still need to talk to my my sensei and run it by
Sensei Ludwig.
Sensei Ludwig. Sensei Nishi. Yeah, so hopefully
Get
I
the
get a
fuck
fight
outta here with that.
before the end of the year, and then just train it.
Now, if I want to
working.
come to your gym, where do I go?
You can go to Revolution Martial Arts in Culver City, or Coeur de Leon, soon to be Braxton's Combat Sports. But
Is
for right
PKG
now-
still around over there?
PKG? Yeah, they're in. I think they're still in Westwood, right?
Really? I thought they were in Culver.
Maybe they are in Culver now.
I knew they were around there
They
somewhere.
were in Westwood before. I remember like old PKG when it was like on Westwood Boulevard. I don't know where they are now.
I never knew what.
And CB, what do you got?
Graphing the rest of the week. Birthday next Monday. And
Oh shit!
yeah, I'm getting
How old
old,
you gonna
man.
be?
33.
Hey, you know what? I got your wedding invitation. I'm like, who the fuck is Brandon?
I know that's one of the things I was thinking about.
His parents are the same thing.
And I
When
was
I
looking at
sent
the
it to the
photo, and I'm like, I don't
roasted
recognize. I don't recognize either one of these two fucks. I'm like,
Yeah,
who is this?
I'm like, fuck. There's a bunch of people that only know me as CB that have no idea my real name is Brandon, and then they're probably getting it like, what the fuck is this? Well, I guess I'm gonna crash somebody's wedding. No, but Graffiti Palace Tattoo, 4427 Lancashire Boulevard in North Hollywood. 3 amazing artists, 12 to 9:30, 7 days a week. Come in, mention MMA Roasted, get 10% off whatever tattoo you want, and if you're lucky enough, I'll be around to hang out with you. More people.
I think I just threw up.
Me being sarcastic as fuck.
Oh,
By
No,
now.
you know
You'll
what?
pay a
You know
small
what? I will
fee for that kind
I
of
will
thing.
say one thing.
pay extra to have
If he's
that not.
around.
I'll pay extra to have that not happen.
You know what though? I will say one thing. Being on MMA Roasted, like I go to fights and people just walk by, they're like CB. I'm like, yeah, you just know me from
Celeb
pictures and
status.
shit,
That's
but, like,
good, right?
It's awesome, man. It's really cool. A lot of there was 3 fans that I met over at LFA. We were tweeting, and I'm like, this arena is like the size of a 1-bedroom apartment. I'll walk over there. Ended up talking for like an hour and a half. 3 big fans of the show. Really cool dudes. It's just fun, man. It's
Killer.
fun to have people recognize you and not think you want to kill them.
No, I was at the Dave Chappelle, John Mayer after party in Montreal this weekend,
Ooh,
and,
how exciting is that?
and some cute girl was like, "I know you," and I'm like, "I'm a comedian." She's like, "No, MMA Roasted." I'm like, "Wow, I think you're the first female fan I've met." Since
Well,
we've been
everybody
doing
else is
this.
offended by your Colby Covington joke.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, Listen,
Fuck
people,
your feelings.
I will be at the Ha Ha Comedy Club this Friday night and Thursday night. Okay, if you're coming to the UFC, come to the Ha Ha, 8:30 and 10:30. I'll even try to get Woodley to do custom comedy on there. Next Sunday night, I'm in the Long Beach Laugh Factory. And then coming up, I'm in Springfield, Missouri, Thursday, August 30th to and September 1st. And then I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, September 6th to the 8th at the Comedy Catch. Then I'm in Rochester, New York, September 20th, 21st. Then I'm in Vancouver, September 28th, 29th, in British Columbia. And then I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa. I always say Des. I'm in Des. I sort of for years I thought I'm like, what are hors d'oeuvres? I thought
Hors d'oeuvres?
Hors d'oeuvres?
Is that some kind of hors d'oeuvre? Is that an appetizer?
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck keeps it? Why would I want hors d'oeuvres? So anyway, I
never know.
I'm not. Yeah, right.
I used to say coupe de grace
What's that?
instead of coup de grace.
Huh.
I've never even seen that word on paper.
I don't know what that even is, but
It probably looks so weird to me right now. I wouldn't even know how to read it.
Anyway.
Nothing is as bad as the dude on Jeopardy. I think it was Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune that
The Achilles?
Achilles.
Achilles?
Come on,
The
man.
Achilles?
Achilles.
You know that guy lost like $1 million because of that? Like
yeah.
over $1 million?
Wait, he didn't say
I would have
Achilles.
fucking killed myself.
oh my
Achilles.
god.
And
was-
as a
yeah, it was
college
Achilles.
kid, like, bro.
Are you
Okay.
smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah.
Also,
Achilles.
if you're order off Amazon, go to adamhunter.com first, click on the link, and then go to amazon.com. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye.
Trap sonsen, trap sonsen, trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадar стуудан дур булаа мууруулаа.